Like it's getting a little bit easier to understand, but we are live now, man. We are live. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for another episode of the Music in Life podcast. If you know anything about my story, my journey, if you know anything about, we've even done some YouTube content about the beat battle in history. You've seen this face before. Oh, you've seen this face before. This is this is Thanos before Thanos. This is like the OG. This is the person that when you think you hot shit, you meet him.
Man.
You meet him, and you're like, I got to go back to the drawing board. It's funny, DIBIA E, first of all, welcome. Thank you for being here, bro.
Oh man, we finally made it happen, man.
Yeah, I know that your schedule is wild, man, and I know there's more things that come with it other than just the music, being a family man, and we absolutely appreciate you being here. But, I got to make sure I start off by giving you your roses because I disclosed to you before we got on here just how important you've been to my production career, especially early on. I told the story a little bit about getting into these beat battles and then meeting somebody who really does this, and that was you. Willie B, when he came through here last week, talked about when he first met a producer named Chords, and he was like, I kid you not, on the way home I wanted to quit. We had a beat battle in OC, and I had to seriously think about what my beat battling career would be because of the whooping you put on me.
Oh man.
I forget which one that was, the Street Fighter joint. It was like a Street Fighter theme to the I forget who threw it.
Oh, was it? It
was an OC, and we did it a few times, but it was like a venue where when you first walk in, it's like the bar's off to the left side. It's a bunch of seats, and it's like a smaller stage. But I believe it was in the OC, yeah. And it was like every flyer had like a Street Fighter theme to it.
Oh snap! Damn,
Now,
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, well, that was one of the first ones. Uh-huh.
There was a few I did where you had to make beats on the spot.
Yeah, I wasn't
in
there.
OC.
I wasn't there. I ain't making no beats on the spot. I had to, that's y'all in the hardware. But bro, I say all that to say because I definitely want the people to hear from you. Thank you. You're the reason why I was on the Red Bull Big Tune beat battle. You extended an invitation to me and my guy Captain, and just beyond teaching us through practice, through getting beat up in these battles, you also have been one of the OGs. Like, man, you've been one of the OGs that really took that title and gave game without ever holding up receipts. So, DiBiase, I'm grateful to have you here. We're grateful to have you here. First and foremost, how you doing, man?
Oh man, I'm hanging in there, man. Just staying busy. Just man, you know how it goes, man.
Yeah.
Balancing family life.
How is balancing that? I feel like we haven't had too much of that conversation, but I know your little one just had a birthday recently. Like, what does that balance look like for you these days?
Man, well, she's homeschooled, so sometimes she goes to on campus some of the days, like Monday through Wednesday.
Right.
Like I gotta be on campus with her. It's like she'll do like dance classes and all that. So I might be in the parking lot or in the break room, the lunch room with her. And then that's like from 10 to 3. So sometimes I might have my, iPad cooking up or SP sometimes while she's in class. And yeah, man. Then taking her to the park, all that stuff.
Anytime I hear you talking about the SP, first vision that comes to mind. And I wrote about this in my book. I wrote about you extensively in my book because of how important you were to my journey. But first time I went to Lemert Park for the Beat Cypher.
Oh, word.
I pull up to this event. I forget. I think it was Jeffrey Beats was the first person I actually met there at that spot. And pull up to the event. I don't know what to expect. I'm at Lemert. I'm just looking around. I'm like, there's so much culture out here. I ain't been out here since I was a kid. And you know what I'm saying? My pops brought me out here to get his Black Consciousness books. But I remember going, you know what I'm saying? I remember going to Chaos Network and just looking around, and I kept hearing whispers of DiBiase. I'm not putting no extras on it, bro.
You talking like I'm Candyman,
bro. It's what it sounded like. I was like, who is this? Who is like at this time? I have to admit, I was not educated on everything that you were doing, and this might have been at a time where you were like really establishing your reputation, but I just hear these folk legends about you. Went to that B Cypher, and the first time I've ever seen an SP404 in person was you, and you were standing up and you were holding this thing. You wouldn't even use a table, and you was doing this. I was like, yo, what is that?
Oh man.
I was like, this cheating. What is that?
Man.
And then I remember looking, and I was like, this was my. So how many folks might have seen Dilla and then were influenced to use the MPC? I saw you, and I was like, I'd love to learn how to do that, but I know I'll never be as good as him. And so I didn't even try. I stuck with my FL Studio. But seeing you in person, bro, I tell a story all the time, bro. You have an energy that is a very humble energy. I've never seen you walk around cocky about the things that you have accomplished. But, bro, when I seen you up there live for the first time, I was like, the swing, the energy, this feels more like home than anything else that I've been listening to wherever I'm at. And I gotta tell you, bro, you exposed me to so much being in that scene. Like, because of the Cypher, and because of jumping out there into the into outside as first time I met No Can Do. But
word.
What is the origins of DiBiase? Can we start with the name? For those that don't know.
Yeah, I started off with the name Diabolic, and then they used to call me DB for short with that, and then I was like, some of my older stuff was on super grimy stuff, so it kind of fit that. But once I wanted to go full-time beats around 2005, because I used to rhyme and do beats, and then 2005 went full-time with the beat, so I kind of just had to restart from there, because I was making music since 95. So that 10 years, 95 to 05, I was like, I just started from scratch, man, in 05. So I just went with DiBiase, and that, because they were calling me DB already.
Mm-hmm.
So I just went with that, and I was always a big WWF fan. So I just went with that, and it's like I still like to make grimy stuff, but I like to make smooth stuff too, and I'm not flamboyant like the DiBiase or have a Virgil or anything like that, but I just felt it fit.
Man.
And then I'm into a lot of polo, so it's like I could roll with that, and then it just went from there, man. So
and in the beginning, what were you rocking with to start this entire journey off? Because we say it stretches back as far as 9.5. What were you first starting off with?
A Gemini 8-second sampler with one of those the yellow Sony Walkmans.
Oof, I remember those. Ooh.
Then I had like a single cassette. It was a tape deck, but it was only one deck that could record. So I had to plug the sampler directly into that, and then I would just catch loops, and then I would layer it up. So I would record like a drum loop for like 2 minutes, then let that play, and then I'll sample like a piano, and let the piano. It's kind of like a resampling method I would do on the SP years later. So every time I would resample, it would get like a lot more tape hiss. So you can layer up stuff like up to 3 times before the tape hiss was kind of unbearable. But the crazy thing, people like that sound now, and they make plugins that do that.
And I'm one of them.
Yep. Tape boy.
Appreciate you, man. And in starting that, I feel like we all go through a phase where, because we don't have a school for this, we're either learning from mentors or we're learning from some of our favorite producers, beat heads. Who was sort of, I guess, your early references, or who was the people that were in your ear as you were trying to start to figure out what your sound was going to be and who you were going to be in the process?
Oh man, early days it wasn't nobody taking me under the wing, because like a lot of times I would go to different studios when I was recording with the homies, and they had MPCs, but they had it MIDI to a keyboard. And I was like trying to, you know, sample a lot of jazzy stuff. I had records and stuff, so it was like, I know I wanted something more jazzy, like some Tribe Called Quest, some Wu-Tang sounding stuff, but I wasn't getting that in South Central and Watts, you know?
Right.
So it was like, so I was like, man, I didn't figure it out for like 2-3 years. I was going to studios and they all had MPCs MIDI to a computer, like a keyboard. And then I'm just hearing the keyboard sounds coming out the MP. So it wasn't till I went to this studio in West Covina, and it was this guy, he had his studio in the garage, had a bunch of records, had the MPC just like the other guys, and I noticed he was chopping the records up, and I was like, oh snap, this is the stuff that Premier is using. This is like 97. So once I saw that, man, my grandmother, she helped me open up the Guitar Center credit. Then I was paying on that for like forever, because that high interest rate.
Bro, they don't tell us about that. They don't tell us when we first getting it. They don't tell us about all that. You got to figure that out the hard way.
Bruh, I feel like I was paying that shit forever, man.
It's like when you listen to grandfather's generation. Like, I've been paying a mortgage on this house for the last 70 years. Like, geez.
Yeah. But shout out to my mom. She paid the rest of it off. And, she was supportive. And,
so
yeah, man.
When you first started, kind of, okay, so we know that obviously Premier was a part of, like, these are the folks that you're listening to. I don't think you mentioned anyone else. Was there anyone else that was kind of highly influential at that time for you?
A lot. Early RZA, Tribe Called Quest. I like the Ice Cube's America's Most Wanted album.
Classic.
That was highly influential. I listened to DJ Quick early, the first albums, Boogie Down Production, then a lot of stuff from Good Life.
Okay.
So I heard some of my first instrumental beat tapes at Good Life. So DJ Nobody, he's one of the residents at Low End Theory.
Yeah. Like
I copped one of his instrumental albums. This is like 95.
Okay.
At Good Life. This is pre Project Blowed. And then I got a beat CD or something from CBE, which is Fish and Riddler, all of them. So those were the first two instrumental albums I got. But it was like many people slinging like instrumental albums way back then.
Yeah.
So that kind of had me like, damn, I think I could make some beat tapes or something.
And that was my next question was, we were talking about 95.
But yeah, it took me a while to get to the point. It took me like 2 years to even want to play beats in front of people, man. So it wasn't until like 97 that I was playing.
DiBiase, tell me if the legend is true, because this is kind of jumping a little bit ahead of the story, but this is something I was always told when I was told about Thanos DiBiase. Okay, when I was always told about these legendary stories, they said that, I think Noah, shout out to Noah James, my brother Noah James. He said that, man, you know, DiBiase used to be out here at Lamert, and if you know he'd play music out of a boombox, and then folks would be freestyling to it, and when somebody would ask him like, hey man, like, how can I get your beats? You would pull out a beat CD or you would pull out a beat tape for him and be like, you can pay for it right now. Are these legends true, man? Because if
yeah, I had some beat CDs back then, and like one of the times Battle Cat, he like sat in the Jeep and was vibing out with me at Lamert.
Oh wow!
Outside Project Load, he was vibing out on some beat tape. This was way before the Red Bull.
Yeah, this way before BeatStars,
This was like
Airbit.
2001. But I think Chords was there too.
Chords was there too. Yeah, Chords is a staple of this.
In the Jeep too. Yeah.
Man, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It was like around 2001, 2002.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I heard these stories from multiple people, like, and they do the same thing, bro. They do like this. They be like, DiBiase, man. And,
it was just I didn't want to spam people, so it's like if they're interested, they'll inquire about it. So I just had the boombox, and or I either had the system inside of the Jeep and I'll pop the hatchback open.
Bro, that grind. There's a part of that grind I truly miss because of the lessons that you learn about, like, communication with other human beings and people, right? There is no DMs to slide into. It's like you got to be able to hold that conversation, hold the attention of the person in front of you, and not just do that, but you got to give them the energy that I do fair business, right? Because it's a different internet space at this time. It's not what it is today with social media. Like, you really have to meet people and be able to articulate your goal. Do you feel like that kind of gave you an advantage, especially moving into the internet space that you're in now?
Oh man, it took a while to get to that point. I felt like it was a struggle early, but you just gotta adapt. But back during those times, I wasn't even like really tripping off of that, or even thinking. It wasn't no beat scene like that during that time.
Right.
So I wasn't thinking you could travel off of this stuff until like 08. Wasn't until 08. And then once I started seeing the homies traveling, and then the Red Bull, when that happened, that was like my first time out of Cali in 08.
Where did you go the first time?
To New York.
New York.
Yeah, man.
Would the 1995 version of you be able to even fathom that the decision to jump into this could have you traveling all over like that?
Nah, man. I was just making beats in the garage in Hollywatts, man. Just like happy to make some loops, and was perfectly fine with that. And I was working like 2 jobs. Like, I was working at the park, and I also worked at Home Depot, but I was like the sign painter. I did like a lot of sign painting. Like, I had a little career doing that for a little bit.
Man.
And then I was doing all of that, the 2 jobs, and doing shows and all that. And balancing that, but I didn't have kids or nothing like that at the time. So.
And I'll give you so much props, because maneuvering now as a producer, there's so much evidence around you of how much of a risk it is to take certain risk, right? When you're maneuvering out in these streets, when you don't have like YouTube tutorials to pull up to reference things, when you don't have somebody to give you the when you don't have a video, like I trip out sometimes at the way people complain about things. I'm like, y'all got videos now that somebody will tell you how to do something that used to take hours of searching through, message boards and community posts, hoping that somebody had the right answer.
Man, I wasn't even. I'm ashamed to even say this. Man.
What's that?
I didn't even know how to upload my music on the MySpace in 05, dog.
Wow.
I wasn't even tech savvy like that.
When you was out here in these streets, did you feel a pressure when you saw that emergence coming? Because everybody started moving fast to that. Did you feel a pressure to kind of adjust?
I was like, kind of, like, I'm sticking to my hardware, man. My MPC. I don't want to use no software, but I wasn't as vocal as, people that be on that. Forget people that use software and all that. I was just like, I'm gonna just stick to the drum machine, But it wasn't until like 07 I tried Reason out, and when I tried it for like a week and entered the battle, and I won that battle with that 1 week on Reason.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo,
it might be something here.
Man, it's like you can automate the tempo switch ups and all that, and just like this is way easier, man. Like I don't have to be churning butter forever.
But hell, whatever process you had, I remember being so mad first time I battled you. Being so mad because I was like, let me tell you why. Because I listened to you, because you mentioned beat switches. I was like, that ain't fair. He put 3 beats in one. Like say the general rule is you got a minute to get your beat off and you know, like showcase what you're doing. He would have these switches, and then it felt like the whole time signature would change, but it'd be the same sample. And I'd be sitting back here like, that ain't fair, man. All I got is this one beat that loop around and do some drops. This man will be like, oh, you like that? And all of a sudden it'll be like like Pastor Kern. We talking about Pastor Kern will come out of nowhere. Oh yeah, Jesus! And then it would go into a whole nother beat, and it's like, fam. So you're saying that working with the DAW, working with Reason, kind of gave you more flexibility, and it was less footwork, I guess you could say, to kind of put it together.
I was doing it on the MP. I could do it on the MP, but it was kind of, it took forever, man, to do that stuff.
Yeah.
And then with Reason, you can just automate you could change the whole time signature, all of that, man, and just. So it was like, I was doing it, but it would take forever on the MPC, man. And then I was burning the MPC beat straight to a CD burner because I wasn't even really using the computer. So sometimes I would have the MPC on for like a whole week, dog, and I'll burn it to a CD, but I wouldn't even turn it off or save it. So a few times the power went out.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no,
bro, look,
that was a week full of beats.
Look, I think I know the exact moment when I decided I don't think hardware is going to be a part of my journey, at least in the beginning. Is when my mom's had a Roland Phantom, right? It was for her because mom's played the keys. Yeah, mom's played the keys.
That red joint, right?
Not the red one. It was a black Roland Phantom. I forget exactly which one it was, but it was the one that had the sounds from the grinding beat for Clips and Pharrell. It had like all kind of Neptune sounds. Roland Phantom, and mom's was using it for like practicing for when she leaves the church. Like she did she played the piano at the church. And so she just had it on the patio. And I was on FL. I was like, I wasn't on FL. I actually was on PlayStation on the MTV generator.
What?
You know, that's where I started, right?
I didn't know that. I got it again. I got the PS1 and the generator.
You got it? Oh, let me see.
Yeah, man.
The big ass double disc.
It's outside, but I got these though right now.
Oh my gosh. Shout out. Yeah, buddy. So the memories, I think it's fading out with the background, but the memories of those, bro, like I started off on the PlayStation MTV generator, and mom's was she brought the keyboard and put it out there on the studio with me, and I was like, I think you trying to plant a seed or something, mama. Like, I don't know what she trying to do, but she would hardly use it. And so I just sat and got comfortable with it. But I think this was the day that I decided, I don't know if hardware is for me, at least right now. I was working on a beat, going crazy. And like the homie came over and he used to play the keys. He was going crazy. I was like, oh, this is a crazy beat. And out of habit, he was like, yo, you want to get something to eat? I was like, yeah, for sure. Let's go get something to eat. We living in Carson at the time. He stands up.
Shit. By the Carson Mall.
But exactly. Over there by the Carson Mall, off of Termont and all of that. He pushes
wasn't far from me, dog.
Really? Where was you at?
I was in Watts, but I was off of Avalon.
See? And that's where I was traveling from the first time I went to Lamert. I was coming literally from there. I was still living in Carson. Wow. It was the last year that I lived in Carson. But end of this story, he pushes the off switch on the keyboard. And like it's a habit. And he looks at me, bro. He looks at me dead in the eye. You know them, you know them keyboards where if you hold the button,
it'll hurry up and record.
No, DiBiase, he didn't give me a chance to do it. He looked at me, he let it go. He was like, "Oops," and then we went to get something to eat. And I was like, if this is a normal thing, because I know they had that one actually had a like the floppy disk inserted for that one, right? I was like, if this is a thing, bro, I need more security because my feelings can't go through this.
You know what made me not want to use computers though? I would see like Flylo doing beat sets and his computer would crash during the set.
Damn.
And he would get mad and just slam the computer closed. And it was like, oh man. I was like, I would panic if that happened to me. I seen it happen to Monopoly too, like numerous times.
I feel like it's unavoidable, bro. I feel like you have to go through that in order to like earn your producer stripes. You got to have a unhealthy relationship with technology, and you got to be able to heal from it. Because I had a laptop. I used to nickname it Frankenstein.
Oh man.
You know why? Because I came home one night from a show, and it was one of them swivel necks, right? Like most laptops. That thing swiveled and went off the back of the table, and it was like the opposite direction. And I was like, anytime I would go to a studio session, I had to do one of these. I had to do one of these numbers, right? Because I'm sitting here trying to figure out, like, come on, man,
a Rubik's cube,
bro. Exactly, like a Rubik's cube. I'm up here trying to get the wires, because whatever you would do, whenever you would shake it back and forth, some wires would connect and it would turn on and it would stay on. I remember being in TDE sessions, and Ali is trying not to laugh. He's like, "You good? You good over there?" I'm like, "Yeah. It's gonna turn on. It's gonna turn on. I promise. It's gonna turn on." But
need some duct tape.
Nah, that ain't do that. That ain't do nothing but make it harder to get to. Because now you got to unpeel the duct tape and get in it. But I feel like I said all that to say that I think we all got to go through those moments, and it kind of shapes like if we really want to actually do this. Because if you can't deal with that heartbreak, this industry gonna give you a fair share.
Nah, I feel you, but I just wasn't ready for a while, man. Like the SP just seemed like you just put some batteries in it and you good, man. It's not gonna freeze up.
Yeah.
It's not gonna turn. Well, a few times I didn't change the batteries in that joint, and I had like, man, I plugged up the plug, so it was like I did a mute out, plugged it up real quick. Just started from where I left off, man.
Yeah.
People, that was that low end theory too, I think.
It's just that era, bro. Like I feel like technology has come such a far way in many regards, and in a lot of ways it's kind of still stays stupid. But I feel like in the ways that we need it to be smart, I haven't had nearly the amount of crashes I used to have on my Dell computer or on my HP joint. Like that thing was crashing at least once every 4 months. And then people say, man, you need to have a backup. And then the backup crash because those externals wasn't worth shit.
Yeah, I had a crazy look. My mom had an extra PC. I was using the Reason on that. That shit would start glitching out.
Oh man.
But the more instrument racks I would put in it, it was like, man, I gotta export this beat some way before it just completely crashed and it's unplayable.
Right.
Then I got to Apple like years later, like 2010.
Okay.
11. But it was like I had the Razor phone for a longest, man.
Yeah,
I moved to Sacramento, dog.
That's one thing I remember about you, bro.
Bad.
That's one thing I learned about you. You know what's crazy, bro? Like, and I talked about it in the book. Like when I was describing, so people can get a visual of who DiBiase looked. I'm like, DiBiase come in here with this like fly ass jacket, starter jacket he got from like the thrift shop, right? Like you'll have like some fly throwback gear. And then it's like,
got a Razor phone.
It got the Razor phone, but then you look at the shoes and it's like, I know you pay. Like we don't look at you and be like, he ain't got it. We look at him and be like, oh, he divides his money up like a millionaire. You know, you look at a millionaire, they're not gonna wear a bunch of jewels, they're not gonna wear a bunch of crazy stuff, but that cufflink, oh, that's worth that watch. It's worth a pretty a penny. I would look at you and you'd be like super chill out. You got the thrift, like, oh, I got this from the thrift shop. I look at them Jordans. I'm like, I know you didn't get them Jordans from the thrift shop though. I know that for a fact.
Man, yeah, man. No, but you know what got me to get an iPhone?
Okay.
The Ninja Fruit game.
Man,
it's some kind of game. I just started seeing like, damn, these games pretty cool, man. Let me get an iPhone and then.
Bro, coming from the Game Gear, I'm about to say, coming from the Game Gear generation, coming from the Game Boy generation, some of these games are ridiculous, right?
Oh yeah. Then once you was able to start making beats on the phone, it was the rap after that.
Man, well, going back to the SP, I'm curious. Aside from what you described as the convenience and the reliability of it not crashing like the laptop setups. What was also appealing about taking that route with that particular hardware over maybe some other hardware?
Well, originally I got the SP303 before I got the 404, but I got it because of the wah effect on it. Because prior to getting the SP303, I used to use a CDJ, and the CDJ had like a wah effect on it. So I used to have to burn my samples on the CD and then do the wah effect and sample it into the MPC.
Wow.
And then chop that. So when I went to Flylo's crib, he had the 303. And like, he made a quick microwave beat. And I was like, it got a wah button on it. And he was like, yeah, this shit's pretty good. Then he just did a beat real quick with it. And I'm like, oh, I'm sold. So after that, I went to Pooh Bah's behind the Guitar Center next door to Pooh Bah's.
Yeah.
They had a 303 on the display, just one left.
Yeah.
And it was on the display, missing a knob. I ended up buying that joint. And it was like, then after that, the way I got my 404, I was selling a beat, which was from, like a beat off of Cubase of all beats.
Right.
It was like, but it was on that PC, my mom PC at the time, and it was like some beat I made with Cubase with the MPC, and this guy came all the way from San Diego to like listen to some beats. He was gonna buy something, and I guess I must have brought up a 404. He was like, yeah, man, I got one in my trunk right now, because the 404 was brand new at the time. And he went and got it, and he was like, dude, you give me this beat and $50 cash, it's yours. I'm like, what? Say less.
Yo, when's the movie coming out? Like, when's the movie coming out? When is your biopic coming out? Look, we didn't watch terrible versions of the Aaliyah movie. We didn't watch terrible version. Like, if I gotta be the one to shoot this, let me know. All right, I'm getting better with this. Man. Look, because these are the stories that I don't know why they can't get producer movies right. Damn it, I don't know why they can't get producer movies right. But man, they got about a 5% success rate with producer movies. These are the stories that we all relate to, no matter what era we were brought up in, because it's like that moment right there is a crucial scene in your story, I imagine, wouldn't it be?
Yeah, that's like one of the Infinity Stones right there.
Yeah. Okay.
The first,
I like you embracing the Thanos. I like you embracing the Thanos energy. I like that.
Oh man, since you put it that way, I have to roll with it, man.
What do you think? What do you think most people? Because bro, when I bring your name up, it's certain people you bring up, and it's like, oh yeah, he's cool, he's dope, right? And there's certain people you bring up, and the first initial reaction is, man. And it doesn't just apply to folks who are in the beat scene. It applies to folks who are in the industry. It applies to folks. I've never seen a name like yours across the board. I have my theories, and I'm talking about, I've had so many conversations with folks all over, and whenever your name gets brought up, it's like bringing up the boogeyman, right?
That's crazy, man.
And I know that you don't, I've never seen you walk around here with a big head about, who you are and the things that you've accomplished, the placements you've had. But where do you think that most people sort of pull that larger than life energy from you? Is it, think it's a particular event, accomplishment? Is it just the fact that they seen you do so many amazing things? What do you think it is?
Man, honestly don't know, man. I still remember when I was wishing I had more equipment in the garage.
Man.
To this day. And it's like I got like hoping that, somebody would listen to it, or I could play some of these beats for the dance sessions, and like I still kind of have that same thought process to this day.
Yeah.
But it's like no, it's crazy, like I don't think anybody, I still be thinking a lot of people don't know. I can't assume people know. So when you mention like people in the industry and all that,
bro,
that's like crazy to me.
You can't be out here, and I ain't trying to put nobody's amount of years that they've been in here, because we know that you are OG and a veteran in this and a legend in this. But I look at these Twitch streams and I'm like, you have a very, very active community. You have a community audience that's not there because of what you did 10 years ago. You got them because of what you're currently doing right now. The knowledge that they can get from you pivoting and using, like you said, the phone-based DAWs, you using other hardware, being open. Like I even seen a commercial that I pulled from you using a Novation, hardware. Yeah. So it's like you're constantly evolving, and I think that's another reason why I've always wanted to have you on the channel, because I watched you, bro. I've watched you do things that as a producer, it wasn't about the placement. It was about you. You were it was almost like you were the biggest cosign you could ever ask for. When I saw you do a project that cracked, I want to say it was number one, wasn't it, on the iTunes charts? Did you have a project that was like number one on the iTunes? It was the one that had was it Skull Crack?
Oh, Machines Hate Me?
Machines Hate Me. I want to say one of those charted. I remember it, bro.
Maybe in electronic. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy because Pitchfork, they kind of shitted on that album, but it's cool.
They ain't determining nothing over here. We know who you are.
I know.
We don't give a damn about what,
man.
You know we don't give a damn about what they probably gonna rate this interview for not having the proper coloring and framing. I don't give a shit. We love you and we know your greatness, but I just tell you, I remember it vividly because I saw not only it charting is what inspired me, but also I saw you doing music videos. I remember when you were going to go shoot. You talked about going to go shoot the video for Skull Crack, and I'm like, bro.
Yeah, man.
We can do this. We're allowed to do this.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, man. Like when we're at Red Bull, and it was like they was only talking like the guests, like it was like Shaw Money XL, like a lot of G Unit folks that was like some of the guests, and they were talking to the producers only about getting placements and stuff. It was like they didn't even know about the other universe for producers. Like you can like travel, get your passport stamped, just like playing your beats and putting out albums. You don't even need any vocals.
Where are some of the? I'm sorry, go ahead. Cause we got a little bit of delay. So if I cut you off, it's not me cutting you off. It's just the delay in the internet thing.
Oh, it's all good, man.
But I'm sorry, you were saying?
Oh no, so yeah, it was like I was speaking a foreign language to them. Like they didn't even know about that. Like during that time, like in 08, it was pretty brand new.
Yeah, you're all good, and I think in a lot of ways you were the pioneer of this. Like, can you tell these folks some of the places that you have been flown around off of the strength of your music production to just basically come DJ a set with your production? Like, can you give us just an idea?
I wouldn't say I'm a pioneer with that. Like, I was seeing Rosh G and all them cats.
Absolutely.
So him and Flylo, they went over to, well, kind of Flylo was the first one that went overseas, and when he came back, I noticed a change, man. Then a little after that, Raj G went to London, and he took like my 303 with him, so he can have two 303s, and he was rocking two 303s like a turntable deck. And then once he did that, I'm like, bruh, y'all traveling like that?
Yeah.
I didn't really go get my passport stamped till like 2010, 2011.
Okay.
But yeah, once we did that, but yeah, all them cats, they the ones that start the floodgate for everybody.
So as a result of that floodgate, and shout out, of course, respects to Raz G, of course, Flylo. We all know, man. We all know Flylo. They've seen me do many of rants in here about Flylo and the transitions and everything that he does that's just been influential. But where have you been able, man? Where have they flown? You know the kids now say flued out. Where you been flued out to, bro? Based upon your production, because it's still a concept that, believe it or not, there's a lot of younger producers in my audience that think if I don't get placements, I'm never gonna find success as a producer. As crazy as that sounds, and you just told us the OGs of this, who were there, right? Like you said, they have had an opportunity to go to London first. There's still people to this day who are like, could you make a sustainable career? Could you make a living off of that? Why would they fly you out for just your beats? And what kind of places did you go to first?
I went to Toronto, Montreal, Quebec. Then I went to Australia, New Zealand. And then the last place I went, like in 2014, was Japan.
Sheesh. What was your favorite?
Japan.
I had a feeling it was gonna be that one.
Yeah, man.
What made that one so special?
Oh man, they had so much polo there, so much kicks. Oh my goodness.
Oh, you was in there cleaning up. You was in there cleaning up.
Oh my goodness. They had like just equipment.
Yeah.
It was just everything. Everything was there. Only thing, they smoked cigarettes in the club, like, so you'll be smelling like cigarettes at the end of the night.
Yeah, that's a hard smell to get out the clothes too. Yeah,
that's the only thing. But other than that, it's pretty good, man.
How was the reception to you out there?
Oh, it was amazing, man. It was like even in New Zealand was crazy. They had me like on a news broadcast, and they interviewed me on. Yeah, bruh. They had the Skull Crack video on the show. It was, yeah, man. And Japan, they had, it's like in the record stores, they have I have a display for my album there. So when you go in Tower Records, you have like your little billboard thing, your listening station. I have my own listening station out there in the record stores out there. It was cool, man.
Bro, it's very inspiring to hear that, because I think that a lot of producers, like I said, they only think that placements is the only way to find success. And if you're not attached to a record, what is a producer's brand? But I think that's something that you've been able to nail. Error after error after error, you reinvent yourself. You find different ways to present your albums, and it's just I look at it and I'm like, bro, through all of it, you're still you, but you're finding other ways to evolve with it. What advice would you give to someone now who was approaching it? Because obviously you came in at a different time where maybe there was a bigger void for this, and you were able to showcase what you're doing, and people are like, but now it's such a commonplace thing for those that are beat heads and those that are DJ. Like, shout out the homie Jansport J, because he's doing a lot of amazing things as well. But what advice would you give to folks who are at a crossroads? Because there's a lot of folks in this audience, I kid you not, bro, who would love nothing more than to make the music that they want to make, as opposed to stripping down all the elements to complement a rapper. Because a lot of them feel like if I don't have a rapper attached to my beats, I don't have a career, and it is so inaccurate.
So, like, I like to make stuff for rappers. It's but it's like I don't base everything off trying to sell it to rappers. Like, I'll work with somebody if I like what they doing. I'll work with them and we'll knock out a project. Like, I did something with Roz Fresco from Toronto. Like, he hit me up, and it was like, he sent me a video saying he was hungry and all this stuff, and I could tell in his voice from the video, it wasn't like a typed message like, yo, send me a pack or something. It was like the way he presented himself, and then we locked in, knocked out a whole album like in a week.
Sheesh.
And it's that Secret Wars album. The vinyls is out right now.
Wow.
So that's how that came about. But it's like, I can, I don't really be tripping off of having like a bunch of projects out like that, like I used to. I used to feel like, oh man, I didn't drop an album this year. I feel like a failure type. But I just started getting busy with more organizing stuff, and just and then doing demo beats for these companies like Novation and Native Instruments.
Man.
Just, so that's kind of like a placement, but it's like It's not like with a rapper though, but it's
But
still.
that comes with such a different experience, right? When you're dealing with a company, there's opportunity where they're like, here's what we're gonna pay you. It's not up and like we don't know what we're gonna pay you until we see how much it sells, and if you even get points, then you have to rely upon how well it does. With these companies, they're like, before the content even drops, they're like, we know your value, and we know that it could be something tremendous for us because of your authenticity and your relationship with the community. So I enjoy that business so much more than I ever did with pursuing placements and dealing with the labels, because I feel like there's just like a certain certain type of business, bro. It's not fun. It's not fun.
You remember from the Red Bull video talking about the $50 beats?
Yeah.
You know what beat was in that $50 batch? You and I, Beautiful Day beat was in that $50 batch, dog.
Okay, so give people a little bit of context. What is the $50 beat? What are we talking about referencing?
So when I was on MySpace back in the day, I had like a second page where I was selling beats, and it had like a player where it had like I was able to put like 50 beats up there, and like I was selling them $50 each, man. At that time, and a few people was messing with them. They bought like some, but a lot of it got overlooked, and one of them beats was You and I, Beautiful Day.
Sheesh.
That, it ended up being that song.
And I remember that at a time, You and I was such a massive group and influence over the LA music at that time. And that was such a special era of music, bro. Like, it produced so many amazing names in that time, man. Like the Disgabons, the Pac Divs, the Teron and Ayomaris. I look at that and I was like, man, it's so dope to hear so many contrasting stories of what it means to grow up in LA. Because
that was a whole different renaissance right there,
man. And I feel like it doesn't. I know there's a documentary in the works right now for that era, but I just feel like there's so many of these eras that have not been documented enough, and it makes me like, as much as I'm glad that I didn't grow up with cell phones in my face, there's a part of me that kind of wishes somebody was there that was documenting all this with the intent of not trying to be a part of the scene, but just to like
a historian.
Yeah, man. And because I feel like it's up to us now to tell these stories.
Yeah, that's why we try to do that with the Roland, the mini doc. With that with Raj G and Philo with Roland. So yeah, that was a whole struggle, man, getting that set off. My partner Nasira, she executive produced that, and then
fire.
But it took a minute just going to NAMM for years. Like, I was sleeping on going to NAMM.
Why was that? Like, what? Because that's such a huge brand within. Yeah. But why were you kind of sleeping on that?
I know it been going on for years, but like the first year I went, like I didn't have no show. I just went to go and witness stuff, and then I went to a few like after parties. Like Ableton was throwing like the software companies was throwing parties out there in Anaheim. So I went to an Ableton party, and then I was talking to one of the reps, the artist relation cats at the time from Roland.
Yeah.
And we were telling them the idea of doing supercards. And it was like, we wanted Raj G, Sam I Am, and me. And she was like telling them like, yeah, we want them to have a custom SP and all that. At this time, Roland was kind of like, whatever. Like, yeah, just saying, well, acting like, they was down. And then like maybe like a year passed, and then they hit us up, and they was like they double booked the Beat Junkies, and they had an extra 3-hour slot time at NAMM, like on a Sunday, like the last day of NAMM. And then we ended up doing the supercard, and that was when Stolen Drums.
Shout out Stolen. In the background right now, the Stolen Drums playing. Oh, you can't hear on your side, but for those who are listening, this is Stolen Drums on the background.
Word. Yeah, so it's him, Eloquent,
Shout out Eloquent.
Rosh G.
Ross, yes.
Who else? We even had Concept Jackson out of, him with Mutant Academy with Fly Anakin.
Yeah.
But yeah, we brought out Concept Jackson, and then we was doing and 14 KT, of course.
Man, 14 KT. Oh my goodness. I heard about him first through the Red Bull Big Tune, which is obviously that we got to talk about. We got to talk about first and foremost before we get into Red Bull. You're creating these beats. You're in the scene. You are the maestro of these ciphers. You're playing these beats off the boombox. When does beat battling become appealing to you? When does that become something that you're actually like, I think that's something I want to be involved in? Was it early on, or was it something that you kind of had to warm up to?
The first beat battle I got in was like 2000.
Okay.
It was like it was at the spot called the Gaba. It was like where they used to throw elements at.
Okay.
They used to have this beat battle called the Beat Down there. I didn't win none of them, but like a few of the homies that was in our crew at the time, Missing Page, it was like two brothers in our crew. They won like 3 times in a row, dog.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was like my first taste of like, getting in beat battles, but I wasn't really doing like the transitions or none of that.
Man. Where did that come from? Like, was there somebody that you saw in the battle that you learned through practice? Like what was that?
So I did a beat battle at Project Blowed, actually.
Hey, okay. Legendary.
I think I lost to Mike Gow. No, I lost to Duke Westlake.
Wow.
I got to the finals.
Okay.
And who was the judge? I think it was Fat Jack and what was that DJ name? Damn, I can't remember his name. DJ Drez.
Okay.
They was the judges, and I think Duke Westlake had hella transitions, dog, in his beats, man. And they was like, yeah, man, yours was good for like, a studio session. If we was gonna drop a track, we would have went with yours. And then, but they was like, technically, he had all kind of, it was like an adventure. So I'm like, all right. And I think I lost to Mike Gow that way too at the beat battle.
Yeah.
Like he switched up the whole genre. Like it went into some drum and bass or some shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck. So I was like, all right.
That was me facing you for the first time. That was me looking. I was like, wait a minute. Hold on.
Man.
Hold on. I only got one beat today.
And then one time I underestimated No Such Thing.
Okay.
He was like, a regular at Low End Theory.
Right.
And I went in the first round. It's like you can't judge a book by the cover, man.
You cannot. You cannot.
So I didn't expect him to come with this shit. What he played, that shit was crazy. So right after I lost to No Such Thing, this was at Project Blowed as well.
Mm-hmm.
And Rashi was like, man, this dude, he works at the Guitar Center behind Poobah's. This motherfucker be in there with gadgets all day, dog.
Yeah.
So he's like, man, yeah, bro, you should have came with that, some more shit.
Yeah.
But this shit was like really, it was like, it just sounded real good, man. And it had a lot going on, and it was,
yeah.
See what he's doing now, you could tell, he's been at it for a while.
Man.
So I just took notes, just applied it with my flavor and just treat it like a dunk contest, man.
Fam, and did nobody ask you to be doing 720s from the free throw line? Did nobody ask you to do any of that? Especially not against a young whippersnapper by the name of Curtis King, who all he wanted to do was just jump in the battle and learn a few things. There's 2 battles that changed the way I battle. There's 2 battles that changed, and you're one of them. But there's 2 battles. Man. The other one is with my guy Captain.
Ooh,
when I went up against,
I was there.
Not the first one. The second one, yeah. But the first one, no, you wasn't there that first one. I will remember that. The first one at the Vibe. This man. Not only was the drums like it was like what I loved about Dilla, but he found a way to like add another layer of smack that reminded me of Dre to a certain degree. So it was like the presence of Dre drums, but like the swing of Dilla. And I'm just sitting here like, how the hell do
breakdowns too, and then
how do I compete with this? Man. And then he starts dancing. I'm like, oh, I ain't winning this. Then he knows how to like. He was a former crumper, like, so he would just hit every single move, and I'm sitting here like,
you visualizing the sound.
And had it not been for him, I would have never moved up there, because a lot of producers get into beat battles and get really shy because they recognize that, oh shit, I'm never in front of people when I make beats and I don't know what to do with my hands. He started moving and I was like, okay, I have to move. Then I went up against you.
Oh damn.
And it was in a battle that I saw you do your thing and my heart was beating out my chest when they said, next up, DiBiA and Curtis King. I was like, oh, bro, I wanted to stay a little bit longer. Can we do the next round? And I go up there and you like, man, it's all like, it's just your energy. Your energy is this. It's all good, man. It's good, bro. Knowing damn well you finna pull your belt out and sun somebody. It's so disrespectful. Cause you never been no shit talker. It's like, and I don't want to compare you, but it's like the way you hear the NBA players talk about when they used to talk smack to Tim Duncan, and Tim would be like, yeah, that's cool. Have a good game. And then he would proceed to like bank shot and just whooping your ass. That was you to a certain degree, in that you wouldn't ever talk no mess. You just be like, man, best of luck, my guy. Like,
I saved it for the basketball court, man.
That's how it was on the basketball courts? Okay, we never had that experience. But in the beat battle, bro, you'd be like, I guess it's my turn. And then proceed to play something, and I'm like,
you said, I guess it's my turn. That's funny. I guess
it's my turn. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, not trying to put you off as somebody that's like, you know, you're not like timid or nothing like that. It's just you always, that's one thing I remember you always doing, is putting your hand over your heart and just saying respect. It's just a respect thing, because you expect a level of respect when somebody is approaching you, and I feel like it's always been that. I played a beat one time, I'll never forget, it's called The Silencer. It had all kind of crazy snares and all kind of stuff in there. And then you told me, because after that night, I was like, man, I suck at this. I may not need to ever come in another beat battle, especially with folks like DiBiA running these streets. And you came up to me and you was like, bro, good shit tonight, man. Like what you did with them snares was crazy. And I was like,
pretty crazy, man.
It's pretty crazy. Like, I was trying to hold in my smile. I was like, I was trying to keep it cool. I was like, I appreciate it, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you killed it tonight too. I was beside myself, because at that time I had known you for a little bit of time. I had known you at least from my move from Carson to the IE. And the part that I love the most, bro, is that you took your win, you took your W's, your mini W's, you took them humbly, and it was always love after, and like you would give me tips. And I never met anybody that was an OG in this production wise that would do that and then tell you, I think it might have been this that was the reason why the judges felt that way. Maybe try to do this and then that. And I was like, that's who I want to be for the next person that comes up under my generation. So I salute you and appreciate you for that, because you didn't have to do that.
Oh man, it's shit. I just wish I had that. So it's like, I was like, if I ever get to a point where, you know, people take my word with some kind of value, like I'll try to give them something that, you know, that's useful.
Man.
So.
And then you made a call to me and my guy Captain some years later, after we had been in a beat battle. Like, we was in every beat battle that we can get into. If I saw Captain that night, I'm like, yo, one of us got to leave with this. Somehow, some way, we got to leave with this. And then if you showed up, it was like, all right, one of us just got to get to the round with him, because we're not winning this. Not in LA, we're not winning this. There's no way in hell. Because as soon as you walk in a room, it's like that Rick James aura. They're like, oh, DiBiA's here.
Oh,
but we
man.
just knew. But you gave a call to me and Captain, because you had an opportunity in that you went and killed that first year. You want to talk about that first year of you being involved in the Red Bull? Because that joint was on BET. I never forget how big of a deal it was to see a beat battle get that much play.
Oh, that's wild, man. I wish I could have recorded that on a VCR or something, man.
Man.
But just as proof that, you know, But yeah, that was crazy, man. I did like a beat battle in San Diego originally, like maybe a year prior to that Red Bull. And Jake won, Mr. Brady and Ono was the judge. And I ended up getting to the last round, but I ended up losing. But it was like they couldn't decide, so we went like 2 or 3 extra rounds.
Oh man.
And then, but it was like for 500, I drove all the way to San Diego. But yeah, I took many L's, dude, throughout the process, man.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't want people thinking, oh, I was just winning and winning. I was like, I took many L's too.
Except when you was facing me, but go ahead.
Oh man.
I took many L's.
It could have went either way, man.
No, you know what's funny? You always tell me, you told me I won one time, and I'm like, DiBiase, I don't count. That was one of them nights where it was like at least 4 more rounds, and then the bar said, hey, y'all got to wrap it up. Y'all got to finish this little beat battle thing y'all got going on. And so the judge was like, or the person that's throwing it was like, hey, let's just do Royal Rumble style. Let's put 5 of y'all up there on stage. And I think like you played a beat, one of them rounds, somebody else played a beat, and then I got to 1 round further, but I didn't beat you. That wasn't no one-on-one. Like, you are the one person that I've like not been able. No, I take that back. Jay Business. That's another one that gave me he didn't really literally gave me the business. But like you.
That's who I lost to in the first year.
Yeah, man. But y'all, man, that was such a clash of the Titans seeing y'all do that. But what I was aiming towards, man, is that you do that, you find your success with that. I'll never forget. I was like, bro, they're showing a beat battle on BET. And that may not feel like such a big deal to folks who are of this generation of BET, but it's like we didn't have many TV channels that were showcasing what we were doing in our respective fields as producers. Like we were just, it's not the producer experience that you have now, where you have like producer ran channels that are getting 500, 600, 700, a million something views. It's a different time period. And to see that was so inspirational. So that experience, you do that. The second year is what I have questions about. The second year, obviously they got ultimate respect. You've been like franchised in, right, to a certain degree, and they give you the freedom to pick 2 people, or I'm assuming more than, I don't know how many it was, but they give you an opportunity to choose producers to come compete for an opportunity to be on the Red Bull. And I know 2 of those calls was me and the homie Captain. Why? I never asked you this, but why?
Bro, you know, I love y'all production, man. It's like, man, like I was driving way out to IE hearing y'all. It wasn't around the corner.
No.
So I was like, I really dug what y'all was doing, man. Like you said, with how Captain drums, you smacking, and I like how you would have the theme, like you had the Nickelodeon theme, like you had the concept beats and all that. So like I felt like, you know, you had the flips and shit. So I was like, man, like I felt like y'all would compliment it well, and you know, y'all was like the toughest comp that night. Had to go against this dude twice. I'm like, was every part of you regretting this decision? I was like, oh damn.
Cause I at least that's the thing that I'm gonna take to my grandkids. You know, the one year in Red Bull, I took you know that DiBiase, I took him to OT. Did you ever beat him, Grandpa? Shut up. Don't talk to your grandpa. That's gonna be the only thing I got to brag about. I took him to OT one time, and I thought I don't know. It's a little bit controversial. Some people might have said I lost. Some people might have said I won. I'm gonna be that grandpa who tell that story because I will never get that chance again. Matter of fact, during the pandemic, you remember I reached out to you. I was like, "Hey, yo, DiBiase, bro, like it's a lot of battling going on right here. Like, you know what I'm saying? You trying to jump?" He was like, "Nah."
I'm retired, kid.
You got me feeling like a Utah Jazz versus the Bulls. They'll never get that chance to ever get that ring again. They came so close.
Brian Russell.
Yeah. No. Forget the jumper. It's this. The move is this. That's the whole that move right there.
Oh, the push off.
I'm glad you as a Jordan fan can admit that was a push off, but you know it's neither here nor there.
Supposedly.
No, you can't add that after. That's you can't.
Supposedly.
But no, bro, like that invitation opened up so many doors. It also produced some funny experiences because Jake won. I never forget. He was like, "Is there a Curtis King in here?" And I was like, "Oh, that's me." I'm all nervous. And he's like, "Curtis." He's like, "That's the least hip hop name I've ever heard in my life." And I was like,
"What?"
Oh, thank you. Because at least you know me. I was like, okay.
But you woke him up, man.
Bro.
You woke him up.
And it was crazy because I went in there with a strategy of sample flip, because that was my thing. Like, that was my strength. And I felt like you influenced a lot of that sound, especially a beat that I played. I had that beat with your name on it the whole night. I sampled Metroid 3 because you were the first person I ever heard use video game samples the way you did. You would use a video game sample, DB. It's funny me explaining your sound to yourself like you don't know it. But you would use these video game samples, these 8-bit samples, and then you would throw like these dirty drum breaks over it. And I was like, the feeling I had when I heard Captain for the first time, very similar feeling with that, to where I was like, bro, I came up on these video games. I was a Game Boy kid. I was the Sega Genesis. I was the Super Nintendo. So when I heard you utilizing this and then putting those drums, I was like, hey, yo. It made me want to go make a beat that I had where I remember making it, bro. This how much you struck fear in us, DB.
Oh, man.
I'm gonna give you roses. You struck so much fear in me. At least me. I'm gonna speak for me. I sat here and made a beat, bro. And I sampled Metroid 3 with some smacking drums. I was like, that's cool, but that ain't enough. I was like, add some switch ups. Added switch ups. I was like, cool. Okay, I got switch ups. So in case you want to switch, I want to switch. And I was like, you still gonna get beat. So then I was like, damn, what can I add that would make DIBIA E say, oh
man.
So then I got a Marvin Gaye sample from What's Going On, and I added over the top of that, and I called the beat Metroid Marvin. You know that beat is because of you. Because of the foundation you set out. And I never forget, bro, you talked about DJ Battlecat earlier before and playing beats for him, but that was the beat that he reacted to. He in the background like dancing and whatnot. And I'm like, it's crazy, the ripple effect of your influence, man.
That's crazy, man. Nah, I remember that one. I was like, damn, that's some good blending right there. Like, what the contrast of some Marvin with some 8-bit. Like, what would make you do that, you know?
You. Short answer, you, because I knew that at some point in time. Because I remember they called our names and I was like, oh, bro, well, it's been a fun night. I got to leave the rest of the beats that I have, play the best beats I got, and just run it up. And I even remember Captain going up against you in the final round, and he even got to a point where he was like, nah, like, I don't even got nothing left. I'm just going to float these out there.
Man.
We in there. We going to Chicago. But
I got a funny story
tell
about that.
Tell me. Talk to me about that.
So Nasira, my partner Nasira, she was in the crowd for that night, and she was texting me, and like she was like, man, I was about to, after I seen Captain play that grimy shit, versus Day Uno, I was like, good lord. I was like, man, I think I gotta go grimy. She texts me like, yo, crowd, they fucking with the smooth shit. Don't do the grimy, do the smooth shit.
Oh, that's a real one. That's a real one right there.
So that's why I went with the Patrice Russian that round and all that. Because I was about to go grimy too, assuming that Captain was gonna go grimy.
How important do you think that is of a strategy because obviously beat battles have shifted so much now in the culture. For those who are beat battling now and are trying to figure out, like, when they hear something that just, you don't want to show it on your face, but when it just rocks you and you're like, oh, I don't got nothing that sound like that. What is kind of generally going through your mind? Because I know you're teaching this to a lot of the younger ones that you have influence on that are battling. What's kind of like, what goes in your mind when you hear something that just strikes you like, oh shit, and the crowd's into it? Are you automatically thinking about trying to contrast that with something that beat doesn't have?
Sometimes, like, that's why I have people was like on the video, why you got that piece of paper? That was like my my strategy right there, my playbook right there. So I'm like crossing out stuff. It was like X and O's type shit on there. So like yeah, it's like I had a little game plan. Like sometimes sometimes I might want to come with something aggressive against somebody. Sometimes smooth, but that time I got like, you know, a little audible from somebody else that round. But for the most part, it was like you know, if I'm a B, I might start it off smooth and make it like kind of simple, just to like make, oh yeah, he just playing like a simple loop. I got this. Then it change up into something like the okie doke. It's like the rope a dope.
You did that. Oh, DB, you did that.
Some grimy shit, man.
You did that so well, and I'm telling you, bro, like I compare your style to like the Drunken Master. Right? Like you looking at the Drunken, like if anybody's ever seen that classic Kung Fu movie, you see him and it's like his style is unorthodox and you're like, oh, I got this. And then it does something else and you're like, I'm going home. I'm going home tonight. And like you, because of your demeanor being so contrast, like you'll have like a very like respectful demeanor with your competitor. Some people, you know, bro, I know you've been in all kind of battles where folks get in there and they already puffing out their chest. And I always figured out the one that yelling the most ain't got shit for this beat battle.
This one time, this dude, we did the coin toss. And he won the shit. And then he was like, I'll go first.
Oh, boy. You don't know no better. Poor him.
And then after he went first and then I went, man, I broke out the Nintendo Zapper on him and just started clapping on him. And then he was like, oh, shit. He was like, you got me, dog.
You got that. You got it.
It was like the beat wasn't even over with. He was like, you got it. And then it was like, man, he should have just let me win first.
That remind me of what was my guy's name? His name is escaping me. He was the first person I battled that night in the Red Bull, and I hit him with the sonic booms in the Hadoukens, and he was so chill. But I just knew I had been in too many beat battles where it's easy for judges to forget about you after a few beats are played. There may be one beat that just stands out that sways them. But if they hear something that's just close enough to make them forget about what you played before, they'll give that win to somebody else. Fairly or unfairly doesn't matter. That's part of the strategy. Yeah. But I remember, man, like, I was like, yo, I have to make an impression. I started hitting my guy with the sonic booms. And he never talked to me ever after that again. So shout out to him. Much love to him. You know, it's all a competition, but that video went up and he was like, I was making, before we battled, we was making plans to cook up. I was like, bro, you so dope, bro. Let's cook up and make beats.
Wow. I think motherfuckers take them battles personal, man.
How were you able to, like, where does your stoic nature come from? Or how would you describe it? Like, because I've never seen you get emotional about, you know, damn, I remember this L.
I remember one time, though. It was a beat battle. It was another beat battle in San Diego, man. And I remember this shit like yesterday.
Okay.
I forgot what his name was. I think his name was Mr. Ripley or some shit. So I guess he was the dude, the big shot out there in San Diego.
All right.
Like the favorite. But I must have went against this was the same battle where homie with the coin toss that was the first round. So I went against that dude, Mr. Ripley, like the round before the final round. And he comes up to me in the crowd before we battled. He was like, oh man, I got something just for you, dog. I've been studying you, dog. And then he like flips the same sample, like video game sample, like the same combination of samples I used, and he started it off with like, anything you can do, I can do better. And then he said that. I'm like, oh, you basically biting. All right, that's corny, bro. And then he was like kind of cocky about it. He was like, you ain't doing nothing original. You just flipping video game beats. So we're kind of going back and forth online too. And it was like, but that was like the only time I might have got out of character.
Yeah. I mean,
That was like a
we're
long
human.
time ago.
We're human though. And that's, I'll be honest, bro, like, I know you as, or I've known you, I should say, as somebody who has been, anytime I see them, supremely respectful. You're going to always stand up for yourself if it's necessary. But most times people are coming with love. I remember us recently kicking it up here at the Lamert Black to the Future event, man. It was so dope to see you again. And the homie Ogosh here to the side. Shout out Ogosh. But like, we just catching up, and I'm seeing everybody who walks up to you the ultimate respect. But it's so wild when, and you talk about it as much as you feel free, because I don't run a controversial channel. We talk about just conversations that mean something to all of us. But it was surprising to see so many people coming at you, like on Twitter and on the IG, and people who were like either just like completely against hardware or just completely against whatever the case may be. Seeing so many people come at you. But then what I wasn't ready for, because I was like ready to jump in the mix in there, like, y'all ain't gonna talk to, you know, like big bro like that. Y'all out your damn mind. And I'm thinking it's like, respect DiBiase, like, you know, just being real cool. No, I'm in the threads. He clapping everybody. Everybody getting clapped up. I was like, when did this DiBiase shoot the club up? Where did he come from?
That's diabolic. That's diabolic.
That's diabolic. Okay, now I know better. Now I know better. Because now when I see it, bro, I now like I understand it after talking to you more. Because I asked you at the event, I was like, man, where does that come from? Because I'm like, I can't imagine anybody having that much of an issue where they gotta follow you online and anything you say, they're tit for tat for everything that you say. Like, what has been that experience like, and what do you think kind of like fuels so much of that energy from people? Because I every time I see you, bro, it's just like it's a solid positive energy.
Man, I don't get it. Sometimes it's, you know, people, they have their opinions, like they, you know, or they internalize something thinking it's directly about them.
Right. And
I don't know them from Adam, so it's like, that's just you and your feelings, and then assume it's about you, and it's like a general, it's not even nothing disrespectful, which is the crazy part.
Right.
And then it's like they feel like they need to be right or have the last word and all that stuff, and then they don't know I like to clown too. So
you sure do.
Like,
I didn't see you, especially when it was war on lo-fi, when it was all out war on lo-fi. And I'm not saying that you were strumming any of that, but when it was folks who were boom bap, and like that's the culture they came up on. They couldn't hear the difference. It was like, nah, bro, this sounds like, you know what I'm saying? It sounds like a 94.7 away version of jazz. Like, what are we doing? Like, y'all can't do this to the culture. And I don't, like I said, we don't have to get into that if that's not something you're comfortable talking about.
I'm all good.
Yeah, because I know some people are gonna feel away, but I don't care. We're on the channel where, if you know my history and you know how much I love this culture, I understand it. Because I remember my grandfather told me before he passed away, years before he passed away, but he told me, like, don't let them folks. He didn't say who specifically that was, but I kind of knew. He said, don't let them folks take away your hip hop like they took away my jazz.
Oh yeah.
And for some reason, that voice came up again very strongly as I started to see the rise of lo-fi, and I had questions, and the people that were in place to answer them were very combative. They were very like mean about answering questions, like, you're just a boomer, like you're a dinosaur.
Yeah. No, but the crazy thing is there's like different versions of lo-fi. Like, of course, you got the low fidelity, like when I'm doing the beat making on the Walkman with the tape hiss, that's like the low fidelity shit. And then you got the era of the SP forums. Like, when we were on the SP forums, there used to be beat battles on the SP forum where you have to use nothing but the 404.
Oh wow!
A lot of that stuff was dirty, and it's like this is like 05, 06, 07, 08. Like, a lot of them cats, they just stay in the forums. They don't be on IG or Twitter like that. They just be in the forums, and they making like that dusty sound. And then once lo-fi started getting popular, it's like certain, you got some cats with heat, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have nothing against it. Then you got the cookie cutter lo-fi that you see in the Pepsi commercials. It's like super clean. It's not even
It's not
dirty.
even lo-fi no more.
It's like they might throw a little tape hiss, like a one-shot tape hiss.
A mixtape hiss at that.
Yeah, and then, maybe throw a low pass on something, maybe.
Yeah.
If we're lucky. And then that's the lo-fi that's like, on the Nissan commercial and all that stuff. So
would you
it's
kind
like different levels of that. So
yeah, my bad. I was gonna say, would you kind of compare that to being almost like when we talk about like a gentrification of a neighborhood? Would you say that's kind of like a gentrification of a genre? Would that be a stretch to say that?
Well, some of the labels, they don't have diversity, like or they just look out for a certain demographic, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like but it's like other lo-fi stuff, like like drums.
Yeah.
He considered himself lo-fi. Some of my stuff, they consider it that, or been on lo-fi playlists, but I just consider it beat shit.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, that's what I always been making, like since the 90s. So it ain't like, it's like y'all compare me to people that I was making stuff like shit before they was making beats. Some people, or just figuring out some of the people.
Right.
But but they try to say that SP users, they make their beats in the woods, in the forest, and all that. Motherfuckers that use the 404, like that little joke. And it's like the crazy thing, the people that made the 404 thing was in South Central and in the hood.
Facts. And
where they supposedly keeping the ghetto,
Right. Isn't it funny how when like you said, when certain demographics take it on, they get an opportunity to rebrand it. And I'd never forget, it's almost like when I started seeing the fashion industry wearing do-rags and then calling them like head garments or something crazy. And I was like, fam, that is a damn wave cap that you got from the liquor store. You know what I'm saying? Like because I have my own collection. But
man.
it's and that's not to say, because obviously hip hop is a culture that has evolved and it's universal. It's all over the world, and it's amazing hearing from other cultures their interpretation of this culture, and I'm here for it. But I'm with you, is that there's a lot of folks who come here only to use it up. And I feel like the same thing happens to hip hop in general as artists, where you get an artist that comes in, they get invited into the house, and the moment that they go crazy, they're like, I don't want to do hip hop, I want to do rock. And it was like, well, damn, did you kind of just use it as a launching pad and
piggyback off something?
Yeah.
Opportunistic. But it's like some of them labels, like you'll see cats that be on some of them lo-fi labels complaining they don't get paid and all this stuff online. It's like bruh, you was dealing with what you was dealing with from the jump start before you
Yeah. I was gonna say, what has typically been your view on the industry, man? Because I was listening to an instrumental album of yours, and there was a clip. I don't know who the clip is from, but it was talking about like how it was contrasting how the NWA days were, how music was treated, how it was about the originality. And now we see that cookie cutter philosophy that you're talking about is probably more prevalent than ever before, because now we got AI involved. AI is now scoping TikTok and finding artists that fit a certain criteria, whether it's follows, whether it's likes, whether it's a certain amount of engagement, whether it's even using certain words. I mean, they launched a damn rapper called Effin' Mecca, who came out and was dropping all kind of N-bombs, and you find out the creator of it
Oh, man.
was a white guy with glasses who was
Oh,
like, man, I
man.
thought it'd be pretty cool.
He's like, I didn't say it.
I didn't say it. I just programmed this binary code. But I say all that to say
He got a virus.
he got a virus. Don't blame me. That's crazy. To be able to blame a virus is hilarious. I guess my question to you is, at this stage, what is kind of your view of the modern day music industry? Because I don't ever see that as something that you're ever talking about, like, man, I need to go rub shoulders in this space over here. Like, you have always been repping where you've been repping.
Yeah, no. So, as you know, like, I don't think a lot of people know, but me and my partner got our own, like, label, and we had the distribution to Fat Beats.
Mm-hmm.
So we're putting out our own stuff. It wasn't like relying on a Stone's Throw or the Brain Feeders and all. People be like, oh, why you not on that? Like, man, I got the same distribution as them, but it's under my own imprint.
Yeah.
1030. It's still in the same stores as them, overseas and Amoeba, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, man. So I didn't really worry about, all that extra stuff. I just put it out on my own terms and make sure it looks like, it's quality and, something you can look at.
Right.
The sound sounds good. And, yeah, man.
That's been one thing with you, though, man. I think has stayed so consistent is that every single every single project has artwork that stops you right there in your place, right? Like you don't, I look at it and it all feels like a cohesive collection, but everything that I've seen from you has always been like, I'm going to stop you where you're at and you're going to ask about what this is. And it fits the aesthetics, the sonics of what you create so well. And that's a part that I feel like a responsibility to teach so many producers out here. Like, fam, like, you could have the most amazing instrumental album. Ain't nobody listening to that shit if it looked like some MS Paint. You know what I'm saying? And it's not done on purpose.
Man, you ain't gonna believe.
You about to drop a gem. Come on, what you about to give me?
somebody gave us a CD. I forgot where we got it at, but the shit was wrapped in a piece of paper with some duct tape.
Oh,
I
man.
bullshit you not. I'm gonna show you the picture.
I need that.
You're gonna be like, there ain't no way. It had no track listing. It was just
piece of paper. Run it up.
Like they took it out of a binder.
Mm-hmm.
Just wrapped it up real quick. The silver electrical duct tape.
Not the silver one. At least get the black tape.
It didn't have nothing written on it. No MySpace.
They
You can find me here.
This yours.
Yeah.
Figure it out. Who's featured on track 4?
I did listen to it.
Your guess is good as mine.
I did listen to it because I was like, what if he got some heat on this motherfucker? I'm like, man, we might have to help him out. There ain't no way. But when I listened to it, it was kind of matched the presentation.
Have you noticed that's kind of, if you half-ass one part, remember there was a
but I'm gonna check it out though,
yeah.
Not just like discard it like that.
Yeah.
Like shit, you could be surprised. I was hoping to be surprised. Like,
DB,
I would have been like, yo, this dude an alien.
DB, you got a good heart, because I'm not checking that shit out, and I'm gonna miss out on that. I'm telling you right now. Much love to him. I appreciate the effort. You give me that piece. You give me a CD and some damn blue line paper with a silver. No disrespect to him, I don't know who, but if you get with some silver tape, you could have went with the black tape. Like the black tape at least makes it look like it's done purposely. That silver tape is almost like serial killer energy. You
know what he could have did?
Some Scotch tape?
Nah, he could have put the serial killer letters on the shit, dog.
Because you know what? No. Shout out to Verb. A ransom note. Shout out to Verbs. Verbs the homie. Like Verbs would do something like that where he'll give you a CD that's like, it's not in the original jewel case. He'll give you something that's like the paper, but he's actually taking the time to where when you get this CD, it's a one of one. He's like drawing characters on there. He's drawing like storylines. And I'm like, that makes me feel like you're an artist. That makes me feel like I'm going to pop this CD in no matter what the presentation looks like, because I think you take that much time on your work because you care. And there's a certain amount of like, maybe when I was younger, I would have gave more chance. But now I done been through so many different CDs where I was like, I knew it when I seen it. I seen a dude had a CD where the name of the project was called like something like Doghouse. And my man's was sitting with a full fit, like he's getting ready to go to the club, and he was standing in front of like a doghouse. And I was like, nobody told him. The font didn't match. Like the font was on like some serial killer font. And I'm like, fam, like font has a psychology. Font has a psychology. You can't put like Nickelodeon style font.
Helvetica.
Yeah, Helvetica. Don't give me no Kawhi Leonard Times Roman.
The old English.
Come on now. You giving me that New Balance Times Roman from Kawhi Leonard and gonna put that on top of your cover art and make me believe that you got something immaculate on that CD or on that thumb drive. I'm not listening. Like I've made that commitment to where I'm like, if you don't care that much about the art, or at least getting somebody who does.
That was going from the doghouse to the outhouse.
It's going to the return desk. It's like, you know what, fam? I don't even got a CD player in my car.
Oh man.
You sure? No, I don't got a CD player. My computer don't even got a CD player, man. That's crazy. So like maybe like you can, when you get home, just DM me a link. I don't want it, but like, you know, you could just try. But I think I want to segue.
In front of the doghouse, like you had the prayer hands.
He had the club fit. He was doing one of these. He was doing one of these. Like he had his chain. Like you could tell he was trying to get everything. You know that kid that got some. He got crazy gear for Christmas, and he wore everything he got for Christmas to the first day back.
He didn't have the velour suit on, did he?
Nah. He had like a very casual club fit, and it was like the Birdman hands. Like we cooking now, doghouse, and I'm like, bro, like one of your friends got to tell you, like even if they being nice, like yo, that's crazy, but you think maybe it's a little bit too literal.
Like what's the doghouse got to do with, like, man?
Hey, you ever heard of AI? You know they can make something for you right now that'll get you, but. Well, let me ask you that too, because we're starting to wind down here, man. We respect your time, and I love the fact that we're able to catch up and do this publicly like this. But what's kind of your perspective? Are you embracing all this AI that's jumping off? Is this something that you're a little bit hesitant about incorporating into your process and the things that you do? How do you feel about it?
Man, I feel like we use AI in some of these dolls already.
Facts.
So it's like from the Serato stems, Koala has stems, Isotope that's a form of AI right there. So but you know, as far as something doing all the work for you, it's like it's convenient, but I wouldn't rely on it. Like I see some of the, you know, people using the AI art for like they portrait. Like it looks pretty cool, man. Like a lot of it looks cool, definitely.
Yeah.
But like on visual arts, like it looks cool. But as far as making the beats, like I don't feel like it's gonna take over anything.
Yeah.
Like producers, you know, like it can duplicate something, but I don't know. It's still gonna be. I don't feel like they're gonna replace us or nothing with this AI, so I don't be worried about that.
And I feel like by the time it does happen, where we are in a place to be replaced, I think that our responsibilities are gonna, like, we all evolve, right? The producer you were in '95 required a certain level of skill sets that in 2023 has evolved to what it is today, right? Like the fact that you've embraced, like you said, the phone dolls, and now that's. Even like I watch you. What's the name of the? You know, I'm not heavy on the hardware. What's the pocket joint where they be fighting and then like what is that called?
The pocket operator.
The pocket operator. Man, put me on, because I look at that and I'm like, is it comfortable? It looks cool as hell, especially for the videos. I be watching them videos all the time, not knowing what the hell's going on. That's so dope.
Yeah, you got the SP case.
Oh man, what is the appeal for something like that for you?
I like the grimy texture. It's 12-bit, It's like super dirty. You can instantly sample in it easy. It has auto chop in it.
Oh wow.
But I can get some grimy textures out of it and dump it into another machine. Or I can do everything inside of that.
Yeah.
But it's a grid base, so you can't really turn off the quantize, so you got to do a little finessing to make it swing like you want.
I knew you'd figure out a way to do that. That's one thing I can't even envision a quantized beat. Like that terrifies me. The idea of a completely quantized, everything is on perfectly on the grid. I feel like it loses so much attitude. And it's crazy, bro, because to this day, like that meme says, it's still grid police out here who don't get the sound. And I understand it being something foreign to what you've been listening to, especially if you've been listening to only popular music. But I listened to it, and the first time I ever heard it, I got it, even if I didn't know how to do it. It was a thing where I listened and I said, damn, having that kick be in California and that snare be in Texas or being, you know what I'm saying, be in South Carolina. Like I used to tell Captain, I was like, bro, your kick and snare have yet to meet each other. But I feel like when they do, it's going to be a very beautiful marriage because they saying the same thing at different times. Yeah. But it's such an attitude with where you place a snare, where you, how quickly it comes up. And I feel like it's hard to teach that. But if you were to describe like the necessity of that to the character and the attitude of your beats, what would you say that is for somebody who is a grid officer?
It's different. It's different type of swings because I used to be totally anti-quantize. Like the training wheels on the beats thing I said in the Red Bull.
Yeah.
But I don't really agree with that now because there's many ways to get the swing, even if the snare is landing on the 2 and the 4.
Yeah.
Your kicks and the ghost kicks, like your first kick lands on the 1, but the placement of your ghost kicks and your hi-hat can bring that swing in.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you could push your snares a little hair early, or you can push them back. It's like once you understand the placement, it's like you can break the rules, man. But you just give. It's like I'm teaching like a drum course tomorrow at this high school. My partner, she has a class called Sample Mode at UC Berkeley.
Why we couldn't have something like that coming up? Damn it! Why the hell? You know what I'm saying? I feel like that Michael Jordan meme. I ain't gonna say what the meme says, but man, them kids get everything, bro. Coming up, do you know how valuable that would have been? Yeah.
So that on Thursdays it's at the high school. It's called June Jordan.
Okay.
School of Equity. So it's like 10th graders. We're teaching them koala.
10th grader, that's so fire. So
she's partnering up with them for Thursdays, and then on Fridays it's UC Berkeley on the campus. So that's her class, and it's a 12-week course, 2 units.
Wow.
So the developer of Koala, he was the first guest. He spoke to the kids in the high school, and then came back the next day, spoke to the college kids, and then she did the sampling the following week, and then this week we're doing drum programming. So I'm doing the drum programming, and I'm basically just teaching them the placement.
Yeah.
But where, it might sound quantized at first because you need to know where stuff should land, and then after you got that memorized, then you could start nudging stuff off the grid, and then that's where you get that feeling.
I feel like a lot of people miss that part though, man. Like when, and it's crazy because I've even heard like folks that I consider beat heads who have debates amongst themselves about what actually constitutes swing. Some people would say like taking snares that are on the grid and then equally moving them off the grid is their version of swing, and somebody else will be like, nah, because those are still quantized just on another grid, like they're perfectly on the same time. And somebody have an argument about, well, if I nudge one up faster and one later, like that's my swing. And I think Captain told me one time, he was like, the reason why he couldn't describe, because he's had the meanest swing I've ever witnessed in person. But he told me, he was like, it's not something I could teach you. It's something that you only can feel. and you have your own swing in comparison to what my swing may be.
Yeah, I could just teach you the default placement, but like you might want to know something a snare earlier and the other snare a little later.
Yeah.
Like sometimes Dilla, his drums was moving like different places. Sometimes they were landing on the 2 and the 4.
Man,
like
he was notorious for that early snare too. Because when I started listening to it, when I started trying to emulate drums, I felt more close to that sound that I was listening to when my snare would come, slightly early above the grid, and I was like, he was notorious for that first snare coming in earlier, and that kind of like giving a certain attitude, like there's a certain authority I feel like that comes with, I'm gonna go before the grid, and then when you get used to that, slide that joint right behind it, and you got to figure it out from there.
Yeah, nah, it was like constantly changing sometimes, and then also velocity on the hi-hats is another thing too.
Man, these kids are so damn lucky to have you, bro. Like, and they so damn. So, can you talk about some of the young guns that you've been working with? Some folks that are keeping this sound alive, that are really, really killing it. I know you got family that is has shown here, and I'm always welcoming them with open arms, like it's my family. And so, who are some folks that folks should be looking out for that have been working in line with what you're doing?
My young nephew, low key, that's one of them. Like I taught him the same way, started him off with the same drum placement lesson, and now he's doing his YouTube channels. And
what's his name, by the way, so the folks know?
Low key.
Is there any special spelling they should know about?
It's spelled the regular way. I just gave him that name because he was like real quiet and all that. I don't want to say what his original name was and embarrass him, but I was like, man, you need to go with something like low key, dude, because you be in the cut, just because he used to always be on his phone cooking up. And just but he learned pretty quick. Now he's 22, but he's been doing it since he was 13, and I got my daughter on that same program now at 8. She already got the swing. She had the swing at 6, actually, dog.
Luckiest child in the world. Look, what did she want for her birthday this year? Can you share that with the people? That almost damn near gave me goosebumps when I read that. What did she want for her birthday this year? You talked about your daughter. What did your daughter want for her birthday this year?
She said she wanted a beat set birthday party. So we did. So we have this monthly event called Blips and Beats out here in Sacramento. It's at a video game store. So and we have like a Discord, and we'll put a video game themed sample inside of the Discord, but and we'll give like everybody like 4 days to flip it, and then we were playing all the flips from the Discord at the event. So the sample was something that she told me to flip like maybe a couple of months ago while she was playing Minecraft.
Wow.
So she's like, you know what, Dad? You should flip this. It was like a grimy sample.
Yeah.
And I flipped it, and then I was like, we should use this sample for her birthday party. So everybody flipped that sample, and man. So we set up a little video game station for her classmates, so they all came there. And she hopped on the drum machine a little bit, and it was cool, man.
I saw the video, man. I just like I damn near want to tear up, because I'm like, this is such a. I can only imagine how you feel as a dad seeing this. I know that it's like probably a lot more. I don't want to say you're used to it, but we've seen at least us from the outside have seen at different stages your relationship with her, and how she's always taken a liking to what Dad is working on. But I'm watching videos where this doesn't look like a child that is playing with a toy. She got that Michael Jordan look in her face, like don't tell me I'm playing. Like, I need you to give me the same respect that you give any of these other producers that come up on this set. And there's like an intensity in her eyes, and it was like, I seen that look in her dad's face before I took a L. There's probably
man.
kids out here right now that's like, I don't think beat making is for me.
Oh man, nah, she gonna be like helping us out with the class at some point when she's older. Like, yeah, man. So her mom, she's on the beats as well. So like, she get the best of both worlds, man.
I love it, man.
Then also I do the Flip a Beat Club. That's a lot of the homies from Sacramento.
Talk about that. What is that? Because I also want you to talk about the Twitch. But before you do, shout out the homie Yo Gosh. He said, my boy is chilling with Goku for real. Shout out Oh Gosh, man. He said, man, because like bro, we obviously are family to you. We support what you do, but bro, like, I don't use this word legend loosely, man. Man,
I be tripping off of y'all cats. Oh gosh, Captain.
But
y'all.
I feel like the cheat code for us is we had to either compete against you. Like at one point, it's funny because the domino effect is beautiful. I had to compete against you. Excuse me. I had the opportunity to compete against you, and that made me want to become a better producer. Oh gosh, tells me about a battle that I don't remember to save my life. And he said, I vowed to never lose again. And this man came back. He came back, and he was like the damn whatever Milwaukee Bucks team that was that got them 32 games in a row. He was that in every beat battle. He came back, and I said, "Who are you?" Oh, you battle me, man. You know, and he came back with
the hyperbolic time chamber, man.
Bro, he came back with thriller flips. I was like, you flipping Thriller now? And he would do it in such a way that I was like, who are you? Why are your drums hitting so hard? And why are you able to sample? Why are you able to do everything better than me? And why are you younger? You want to go fight? Like, I can't do this. I can't do this. I'm a grown man. I got kid. I got son. You know what I'm saying? But I love it because, like, a lot of this domino effect starts with you, bro. And that you didn't go in there with the intent of trying to teach us a lesson, but because you were the best version of you, and because you showed us different styles that we could rock with the transitions, it's crazy because now, like, even within the beats that I create for beat battles, I keep that in mind that this is a contact sport, and that if you're not engaged in a process, you just keeping a loop going for a minute, and you think that's just gonna be enough. Like, if anybody ever have a question about, like, damn, Curtis, why your beat battle beats sound so different, I'm gonna point right here to this picture right here. It's because of him. Because I got beat too many times and I never won. But being around that made me feel like, all right, I got no excuse. Because he's doing this on equipment, and I got a whole ass DAW. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just like, not to say it's better, but I'm like, damn, I have the opportunity to click on stuff, and he's doing a process that is more steps, and he's getting more out of it. So you pushed us, bro. You pushed us, and I know we're all grateful, man, because we're all like we're all part of this tree, man.
Oh man, yeah, nah, definitely, yeah, no, that's wild to hear, man. Yeah. But with the more to speak on the
Twitch. The flip a beat first, and then the Twitch. Yeah.
Okay, so the flip it kind of linked together.
Okay,
but it basically started with the pandemic. So prior to the pandemic, it wasn't too much beat stuff happening in Sacramento. It's like I either had to go to Oakland or LA, or if I got booked out of town, but nothing home. I've been living in Sac since 2010. So all the way to like 2020 when the pandemic started.
Yeah.
It wasn't nothing really consistent.
Wow.
Sometimes I would do like maybe one show a year in Sacramento.
Wow.
And sometimes, maybe 3.
What's up, Sacramento? Y'all ain't know you got a national treasure out there? Like, what's up? Like, what is
it? No. But it was like the homie that was booking shows, he was booking me for, he passed away. His name was Daniel, rest in peace. But yeah, he used to look out and stuff whenever, like, he booked John Wayne, me, him. But yeah, it wasn't nothing too consistent. So during the pandemic, though, I wasn't even doing videos like that. Like, I was late to IG, honestly. Like, I was like pretty brand new to IG, and I was like recording videos with the phone speaker. It wasn't like no real audio.
Yeah.
It wasn't nothing. I wasn't taking it serious. And then Roland wanted me to do that SP masterclass. I was supposed to go to LA and do it at their studio, but once they locked down everything, they wanted to continue it still, but they sent me like a video mixer, and then me and Nasira, we tried to figure that shit out. Like that, the video mixer got to us the day before and that SP masterclass.
Yikes.
So we were like crash coursing, figuring it out on the phone with the homie from Roland, and we did that SP masterclass thing that's on YouTube.
Yeah.
So that was the first time doing any kind of like tutorial like that.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't like really messing with that mixer for a while, and then Serato hit me up to do Serato Kitchen, like on Twitch. And then that's what kind of made me start doing the Twitch more. So like after I did that Serato Kitchen one time, it was just one episode.
Right.
They started hitting me up to do it more, and then it turned into a week. Gave me like a whole week or a month to do it. They gave me like a month, 4 weeks. And that time I did the first week, and then I had my nephew Low Key do it, then the homie Taki, Telly McLean, 14KT, Jordan, the homie Jordan. They all did a week. It's like 5 weeks. But I was like, curating it. And then they had me do the DB Diner not too long ago, which was like 3 months. So like once a week for 3 months. So I had to learn OBS and all that stuff.
Man.
But during the pandemic, it made me learn OBS, get the cameras, all the lighting and all that stuff. Like, I wasn't on none of that computer stuff. So that was like like, it made me like learn it. And so once I started doing that, and then when things opened up again, I was doing the DB flip sessions like you were mentioning on Twitter. So I decided to do it in person at this store called World of Stereo.
Okay.
Kind of like Guitar Center out here in Sacramento. Like they sell MPCs and the pocket operator, OP1s.
Right.
Like I would go, that was my secret spot to get equipment out here in Sac. So every time I would go in there, I would hit them up. I was hitting them up for like 3 years before the pandemic. Like, dude, you should like let me do something at this spot. So like it was like, man, I hit them up numerous times in a 3-year span. So I talked to the owner of the store, and this was near the time the new 404 dropped. But I had it like almost a year early.
Man.
So, but they had the pre-orders at the time. So I think they thought I was bullshitting, like doing stuff, because they would always see me with the little one and all that stuff. So I was like, man, I might have to I might have to come in here with the MK2 early. Like, dude, let me do like a workshop up in here with this joint.
Like, I'm for real.
I see you got the pre-orders for it, but
right.
nobody out here got this yet. So they were like, all right, how about doing an event on a Halloween?
Yeah.
And that was a week. It was like a week later. So I put it together, and we did the flip session, put the sample online. They were getting engagement on their page, on their IG page, because they had the hashtag Big Store, as well as the flip sessions. And then a bunch of cats I didn't know from SAC, they were coming through. And then the homie Moms Rock, he was helping me out. I knew him prior to that, but he was helping me out with that. And then Moms Rock started doing the Flip a Beat Club at this record store. And then they were like both hand in hand. So after I do the flip sessions, the Flip a Beat Club would be like maybe the following week. So all them people was going to the Flip a Beat Club where we would cook up on the spot. But the flip sessions, it was like I would just do a demo on some equipment they sell at the store, play all the flips, and then have some guest beat sets, like 3 or 4 people. And then we did that for 3 months. And then the pandemic started spiking again, so we had to went on lockdown again. Just did everything online. And then like maybe 3 months later, we opened everything up, and then I just started helping Moms Rock with Flip a Beat Club, and then we kept the Zoom going as well as doing it in a record store. And then we just started adding different chapters. So we added a chapter in Toronto, LA, Philly, DMV. We're about to add some more this year.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I got one last question for you. I know I didn't keep you here for a long time, bro, and I know you got a family to get to. If you're cool with it, I have one last question, and the community has a few questions that I want to get to you.
It's all good,
man. So first and foremost, I have an audience that varies in age, right? So it'll go as young as 20, even younger than that, but mostly 20 to all the way up until like sometimes like in the 50s. And what I've noticed about the other end, the older demographic in my community, they struggle with this internet shit, bro. They struggle with taking the first steps in creating things like a Twitch. And what I love about what you're doing, bro, because you my OG, you know what I'm saying? And you maneuver in this space so seamlessly. I don't look at what you do and I'm like, it's you trying to like, you know what I'm saying? Are you trying to keep up with the young? I never think that. I look at you and I'm like, this is the DiBiase experience, and you're lucky enough to be online to watch it in 2023 because you keep it you. Even the way like everything's laid out, like the way your Twitch is laid out, I'm like, I feel like that's what, if you were designing a video game, that's what it would look like, right?
Man.
When I see this,
I'm still learning, man.
But see, so talk to the folks here who are afraid of taking the first step, and they really want to get involved. They want to showcase their music, but you can give so much advice to that because not only do you do it, but you got a huge audience that show up every time you do it.
It's just the pandemic forced that, man. Everybody was in the house, so I had to do something because I wasn't touring. So it was like I was just doing the demos on beats and stuff, and then the streaming. But it's like I just had to sit down and learn OBS, which is a free software on Mac.
We're using it right now.
So, the homie Cut Corners gave me like a crash course on it, and then if I had any questions, I hit him up, or he'll send a video breaking down stuff, and then I just started doing research how to make overlays, or just put the backgrounds, make the transparencies and all that stuff. And it took a while, but you just like at the same time you put into learning the software and the beat, you got to do the same thing for this because it's a tool, man. I know some people be against making content, saying, "Oh, that's corny" and all that, but it's like you gotta adjust, or a balance. You don't want it to feel like a chore that I got to do this content like clockworks every single day. You'll get burnt out.
Yeah,
like you could still be a artist. But just balance it out and just treat it like you in the lab and just cook up or whatnot, or chop it up with people. They got questions. It's like that's how you meet people from like overseas to like before this on Instagram stuff. How I was meeting people overseas, I'll be on AIM, the AIM chat.
Yep. Because that's still involved the kind of interpersonal relations. Like we still had to be able to conduct ourselves, or know how to finesse getting past somebody's away message.
So don't think you're like like doing it like nobody's you got to treat it like nobody's watching.
Yeah.
Like you would do this regardless if nobody was watching. Like I treat it like if I was in the garage back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And but it's like people pop up and I chop it up. They got questions. I try to answer it if I know it. And another thing I would suggest for young producers, if there's any open aux spots where you can plug and play your beats, man, I recommend doing that.
Yeah.
In LA, they got this spot called Scenario, which is a spin-off from Low End Theory, ran by Daddy Kev. It's like the same energy as Low End Theory. So
shout out Daddy Kev, yeah.
If you missed the Low End Theory era, Scenario is pretty much that. It's the same as Low End, but they got an open aux every Wednesday.
Man.
So you can sign up early and do like a 15-minute set.
No excuse. But why do you think
you could bring your drum machine, whatever?
DiBiase, what's your theory on this? Because I feel like in a world where so many kids are younger producers, where so many of the social media tools encourage them to literally be social, in person, so many of them struggle with doing the simple things like pulling up to an event like that and actually signing up.
You gotta pull up, man. It's like sometimes people don't want to go to a spot if they don't got nothing to do with it. It's like just go to enjoy the experience, man. You don't gotta be on the bill.
That's how I met you.
You
That's literally how I met you. It's pulling up to that. I had never been to Lamert as an adult, and I pulled up to the B Cypher, and I think it was a MySpace bulletin or something that you might have put up. You know what I'm saying? Like it was that era.
Oh man!
And I had the homie with me. I was like, bro, you trying to go to Lamert? He was like, tonight? I was like, yeah. I think I got some joints I want to share. Like I got a B Cypher. And he's like, F it, let's go. But that decision, bro. That changed my life to make that decision.
I'm saying, man, it's like you never know who's gonna be at any of them spots, man.
Facts.
And they hear you, and that shit. All it takes is one person to believe, and that's like a win right there.
Facts.
It don't need to be millions of people believing, but you left with one person like vibing. That's good, man.
So
and it's like you just go make it being consistent. Like just go every week if you can and be consistent. They gonna be familiar with you.
Yeah.
Like you don't gotta spam nobody's comments every day. I see people rather spam a comment to somebody that won't even like listen to it. But you can go to an open aux, play like 15 minutes of your beats, dude, and make a good first impression. And then you come back the following week, do the same thing. Next thing you know, you got your own set.
If I had $1, DB, for every time somebody spam me, but then see me in person and did this,
man.
Like it's funny because I saw a dude at the last Lamert Park event that the Black to the Future that we was at. And,
yeah.
And I knew they wanted to say something to you, and he was kind of standing off to the side, like I don't know if he was intimidated or whatever. And you were like, "Hey, bro, like, what's your name?" Or I feel like you encouraged that. And a lot of times, like as elder statesmen in this, we understand what it's like to be the new kid and not be there with your friends, and you're amongst a lot of people that maybe you've only seen or heard legends or stories about. And you get a little nervous, and it may be that with just anybody for a lot of folks, but being there is so important, because if you're there, there's an excuse for somebody to say, "Hey, what do you do?"
Yeah, and then shit. Sometimes we pull up to spots with the speakers still to this day,
man.
And it's like if you can make a party happen outside of the spot, you could definitely make the party happen inside of the spot. So that was like why I used to bring the boombox everywhere.
Yeah.
But like now they got the Bluetooth speakers, so you don't gotta lug around the boombox.
Ain't
You
even
can
the
just
same experience, but I wish I was there for these legendary stories, bro. I wish damn it, I hear it through other people, but I'm like, man, I came very late within that scene. I want to maneuver to this question though, because it's been sitting up here on the screen for a second. But Ruffian Kick says, "What's your favorite hardware workflow?"
Jesus Christ.
That's a heavy question. You know, I don't know about no damn hardware, so that don't
got thousands. Got thousands of
What's your
workflows.
favorite?
It's like the flavor of the month.
Uh-huh.
Right now, I'm liking sometimes I like using the 404, the MK2, but sampling into Koala and sequencing in Koala. So I can process the sounds from the SP before I even put it in the iPad. So if I want to do like some wild filter, because Koala doesn't have as many effects, and then I'm quicker with the sequencing on Koala. But because you can sample through the USB cord with the new SP.
Oh wow!
It's not like no RCA, so I like that workflow. Man, I like the MPC Live too. I like that. Sometimes I use the RC 505 looper. I'm trying to tell you, it got many combinations, dog. It's like fighting techniques, man.
Bro, I'm gonna have to come to your dojo at some point because I'll tell you right now, DIBIA E, after having a conversation with Stolen Drums, I was telling him, I was like, bro, there's a sound that I want so bad. A sound that I don't need. It's crazy because like the kind of beats that I've been making, the super aggressive trap and like the larger than life stuff, he was giving props on that, but I was like, man, I don't even be listening to that stuff whenever I'm cleaning up or I'm like doing like Photoshop work. I listen to y'all. And there's a part of me that's like, damn, bro, I wish I could add something to that playlist. And he's like, you know what you got to do? You know, that's more of what hardware do you want to start with conversation. And he was like, I think you would do well starting off with the SP. So let me ask you that. You know, this is the kind of an extension of this question. I'm a newbie. Man. I'm a newbie, bro. I'm a you know, back in my day, they called it Fruity Loops. I'm a FL Studio head ass. And that's just been what my flow has been. It's been a MIDI keyboard, but there's a part of me that wants to be more physical in the process. I just don't know the first thing about any of this except for when I'm watching y'all.
All of it translates, though.
Does it?
If you understand one sequencer, you pretty much understand it all, man.
Mm-hmm.
So the new SP, it has a step sequencer in it now. The older ones didn't have that. So it's like you can draw stuff in the step sequencer.
Yeah.
The 16 steps layout on the pad.
Man.
If you want to, you can nudge stuff if you need to. Plus you get the compression of that SP compression.
Yeah.
You can resample. Sometimes I like to play like a drum pattern live, resample it to one pad, and then draw that into the step sequence.
Ooh.
And then add like maybe a little bit of more drums, or I might even chop that drum loop that I just programmed, chop that up like a drum break, and then replay that. Cause I like to have like a little bit of kick drum with the hi-hats on the tail, with a snare with a hi-hat, then get like a whole cool little swing from that. But it ain't one way to do it, man.
I just want to do it, man. Like the idea of being able to take it downstairs while I'm with my son, or we're going out different places, and to be able to take the experience with me is it's challenging now because I'm on a desktop computer, and it's the most powerful computer I ever had, but it's not anywhere near mobile as a laptop, obviously. But being able to have that and take it places, and being able to kind of breathe these moments in where it's like, damn, I wish I was cooking up something right now. I'm gonna make that move, bro. The homie Lotus Black want to know, did you ever replace the boombox?
I still got it. I still got that boombox, man. I still have it, man. That's like a heirloom, family heirloom.
Man, he also wants to know, was there a specific moment you made a conscious decision to master any piece of hardware you can put a sound in?
Yeah, man. Well, it was like maybe 2010. I was kind of hesitant before, I felt like I didn't know too much like gear or software at the time. I was like thinking about, working at Apple, because I know they had like little workshops there where you can, I was like, man, I can't teach no class. I barely know any software or any DAWs like this.
Yeah.
So it was like, man, let me just try to learn get a few under my belt. And then it got to a point, so I learned like Ableton and Machine. I started off on drum machines, and then it got to a point where it was like, man, let me see if I can make a beat on a PSP, then the pocket operator. Then it just like, man, let me see if I could keep that sound in all these pieces of equipment.
What do you think? What do you think the key is to that? By the way, like how? Because I feel like no matter where you go, the only way that I think that I would be able to tell the difference is maybe, like you said, some of the compression characteristics or some of the different sounds that you're not going to get anywhere else. Some of the the air in the background are the just certain textures, right?
I'll run it through the SP though.
You run it through the okay.
I could still disguise it. So like that the album with Ross Fresco, Secret Wars, that album, a lot of that is like all kind of beats, ranging from the MPC to the pocket operator on 3 beats, a couple Koala tracks from the phone, Serato Studio. It's like a couple of SP beats. It's like, man, it's like, but it's all cohesive. You can't even tell.
Yeah, that's huge,
but,
man.
But it's all what you feed the machine. So if you feed it like some dusty sounds, you working with good sounds to begin with. If you're like using some stock sounds that's like kind of chintzy, it's like that's what it's gonna sound like. But if you put in some stolen drum breaks, or
man, that's some of my favorite breaks, man. That's that right there.
Throw your slump pack up in the
Come
joint.
on now, don't be plugging the slump pack, man. Hey, come on now, don't let me find out. I'm about to send that to you, by the way. But man, it's so much. This era, I feel like, is so much more fun for me because it's the first era that I'm not pressed about how to make this. I am still like concerned of course, how to make this financially something that can support my family, continues to do it. But it's for the first time where I'm making decisions musically that's just like, man, like what's going to feed my soul? And I wish I would have had that earlier. Not to say that I didn't feed my soul, but there was other priorities in place, right? So there was a necessity to pay rent. This is the first time now, bro, that I'm like, why don't you make the music that you actually listen to on a regular basis? And I called myself on it, and this is like, now I need to do it, man. I need to do it.
You know another good thing? Going to dance, like the dancer sessions I used to go to.
Okay.
My homie Jay had a dance studio. And shout out to SWAT team, Majestic. They had a dance studio, and we would go do beat sets there. So it'd be ranging from all kind of styles.
Yeah.
So I would test out my house beats, my footwork stuff, and it'd be like 40 different like dance. Some of them were like choreographers, ranging from like OGs in the dance community to like younger cats to crump dancers to just all kind of styles. So it would make me like try to dabble in all kind of different, like some of that dirty crump sounding stuff to some house stuff, some up-tempo house stuff, because I used to just stick to one BPM range. And then I say around 2010, that's when I started dabbling with the house stuff. And then
man, with the house, like, bro, you so damn versatile. It's scary. If you had to take a guess, what you think is my favorite beat from you of all time? Let's take a wild guess. And no, it's not something that involves the Chicago Bulls. Just letting you know that. Diehard Laker fan over here. Oh. By the way, this guy right here, this guy, that I'm talking to right now, he the only one that get away with consistent Laker hate. He does it in the most DBIC way. He'll shoot me a text and be like, "Damn, bro, like Westbrook hit the side of the backboard. How you feeling over there, y'all? You good? It's just a wellness check. Just a wellness check, bro." I'll be like, "DB, don't do that to me, bro. You know we over here struggling with this damn."
Russell Westbrook building the crypto center. He building a whole new crypto center.
And now he getting ready to come to y'all Bulls. He getting ready to come to your Bulls, and he getting ready to show y'all the experience. Y'all about to get the full Westbrook experience. See how that work? But no, shoot me a guess of what you think my favorite beat is from you. I play this beat probably once a day. Like, it's so dope that I'm literally I'm interviewing people that if I didn't know you, I'd be a fan. Huh?
Is it on Baker's Dozen?
Sure is. You getting close. You getting way too close, bro. You getting close.
It's soon.
Yes, it is soon. How the hell? Probably because I put it on my IG recently, huh?
Nah, you just seem like you like the R&B type of
bro.
The Mary J. flips.
Oh my! The way you treated that sample with so much care, and the drums, like it's for sure.
I mean, Faith Evans, my bad.
Yeah, the Faith Evans, and then I'm telling you right now, bro, it was a struggle trying to make my heart rate slow down on the treadmill when Playtime Is Over came out.
Oh,
it's such a frantic beat, and that, it's crazy. It puts me back in that beat battle era, because you made beats that were like it feels like.
I made that for the Stones Throw. It was a Stones Throw beat battle in the forum.
See,
that's what that was for.
It make my heart rate increase. It remind me when I first heard Lil Jon. It just makes my heart rate increase. It make you drive fast. But like for
the rest of that album is basically it was like songs we would play for Jax while she was in the womb.
Oh wow.
So like if you look at some of the titles, she's still kicking. That means she was in the womb kicking.
I had a feeling about that.
She was like, those were like songs. Like she would like listen. My mom will play her.
Late Stroll. One for Jax. Yeah. They act brand new, just the way. Grunged Out, Sweetheart, Love
Grunged
Sweet.
Out, I made that at the homie Dan's studio.
Okay.
We were just vibing out, but I was giving them a tutorial on Ableton and made that. But it was the energy of dancers just being in the dance studio.
See, now you got me really like wanting to tap back into that scene and see what energy you can pull from. What's one of your favorites? I know that's the hardest question because these are all your babies. But is there one amongst all that you have done? And maybe it's one that's not even out. Maybe it's the one that got deleted with the hardware that you couldn't save. But is there like one that's out there that you're like, that's if you was your last day here and somebody said, play me something. I remember seeing this in a Johnny Cash movie. Play me something that tells me the story of DiBiase. What do you think that would be?
Oh no, they different, man. It's between Baker's Dozen and Bonus Levels. But I like the Secret Wars though, man.
Yeah.
I like that. I don't know, man.
Don't worry, because I don't know either. I don't have my own. I don't have one for myself. I just asked that just to be the Laker fan that I am. Go ahead.
Maybe Baker's Dozen.
Baker's Dozen, bro. That's such a special zone all the way throughout, and it's so focused. I think that's the one thing that I've noticed with like a lot of instrumental albums versus beat tapes is that they have different purposes, but the best ones are the ones that have like a focus. Like shout out to Nameless and Chips. It's one of my favorite. Oh my gosh, one of my favorite instrumental albums, and it just all throughout like. From using clips that mention the word chips in it and having all these beats, like it's just, and of course my favorite joint on there is oh my god, what's the one that comes after Pringles? Because it's another soulful R&B one. When y'all go in that soulful R&B bag with them heavy drums,
can't go. The SWV beat, I think.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Was it Rain?
Hold on, I'm about to pull that up because that's gonna bother me. My brain is going
Yeah.
blank.
Yeah, Nameless a beef. He got a video game album too, man.
Put me on. What's the name of that?
I got a combo beat on that one too with him.
Oh, word. Okay, no, see, I didn't see. Look, I'm late on that one.
Yeah, it was a throwback, man. But yeah, nah, it's a lot of good stuff out there, man.
Man, and well, we have gotten so much of your time today, bro, and it is a complete honor. I'm so glad that we were able to do it, and I feel like everything happens at the time that it's supposed to happen, and I'm grateful that you were able to tell your story in a way that folks who know you know how authentic it is. I'm looking for this name right now. Oh my goodness, here we go. I just found it. Beauty Loops. Shout out to Fruity Loops. I feel like that was a homage to Fruity Loops. You know what I'm saying? Beauty Loops is just, when y'all go in that R&B bag, for me in particular, and it's crazy because you don't see me do enough of those. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's funny. I named I dropped a beat tape, but I didn't drop it online. I just like pressed up like 50 cassettes before I went to Japan, and it was called New Jacks. But I spelled it Jax.
Okay.
N-U. But this was way before. This was before Jax was born.
Oh wow.
Or even
Yeah.
conceived or anything.
Isn't it funny how life would do that to you? Life would give you hints of what's to come. I said the name. I said in the song I had called My Business, it talked about me. Like basically I was talking about like a girl that looked like Dominique Dawes. I was like my crush growing up. You know, she's an Olympian. That was my crush growing up. My wife later on that I met years later, her name is Dominique. And I'm like,
crazy.
It's so wild how life would do that, especially through music, man. Music could give you hints of what's to come, but that's wild. It wasn't even conceived. It was just something that you put out there into the world.
Yeah, nah, but that New Jacks project was all R&B shit.
Wow.
But I was just afraid them samples would get, I'll get dinged for them samples, man. So it was some limited edition shit for Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, yeah, man. Nah.
Bro, I got to get you some of these Aaron Barber samples, man. My guy Aaron Barber, he's tapping into an era of sampling that I've heard through classic records that I know it would take bags to clear. He's doing these all from his keyboard, and they sound like they're like 3 minutes. And his attention to detail and everything is just it's musicianship. These folks can vouch for it. I would love to see what you do with that playground, because I found myself sampling with one of his samples last night, and I was like, nah, I can't take that because other people probably already flipped that. And I was like, wait, this is mine. Nobody else has this. I was like, I don't have to go chop crazy in order to make it mine. Like, nobody else has this. That's how great they are, is that it does that. So wow. I got to get those to you. I feel like you would just go crazy on those. Any final words that you have of inspiration? Any final words of encouragement for no matter what age the music producer is? I feel like this. Let me just say this before you answer that question. You have, although you give props and you give the respect to folks who came before you, for some of us, we didn't get to experience those people that you saw do it before you. We only got to see you as the starting place. And you showed me as a producer how important it is and how much your career can still be something of extreme value without having to attach it to an artist. To this day, I talk to people all the time about you and what I've seen you do and the folks that have come after you. And I look at that and I'm like, man, it makes me so happy that I went this lane. It makes me so happy that I pivoted away from the industry the way that I did, because I get to make the music that I've always wanted to listen to, or the music that when I listen to my favorite producers, I'm like, oh, I wish they would have did this. Now I was like, well, you can do it now, dummy. So I say all that to say, bro, you have created a blueprint for so many of us. And man, I'm grateful that you've not only showcased that, but you've embraced us as the next one's coming up, because I feel like we're we're all branches of the same tree, man. And that's just me saying thank you. But advice, man, there's so many folks out here right now who don't want to do placements. They can't stand the shit, bro. They can't stand the politics of the industry, and rightfully so. There's a lot of stuff that comes along with it, good and bad. But they look at someone like you. Like I said, you're getting flued out. You feel me? Folks they just want you to be there and just play what they can already hear on their own vinyls and their own, they already got the music, but they just need you there to showcase it. And it's an experience. Every time I've seen you live, it's an experience. They want to know what does that require? What does that look like for someone starting out now who doesn't even know that's a thing? They're just kind of figuring it out.
Man, it's like I was saying earlier, Sacramento is not even, it didn't have like a super thriving beat scene like that. It's still growing now. Like, it's only been like a year, but it was just gathering with a few like-minded people and linking up at a record store. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't really, like, if you're in LA, it's like you got all kind of places.
No, facts.
Like, you don't have to be in LA or New York. You could be in a small town, but if you know like at least 10 people that's all on the same page and vibing, y'all should just gather up and just make it like a monthly thing or a weekly thing if you can. Mm-hmm. And just share beats. That's what we did at Sketchbook in 05. We would link up at Sketchbook, mm-hmm. I bring the boombox, Flying Lotus, all of them it's kind of the same concept to this day.
Yeah.
But we're just linking up at a record store. But you can find any kind of spot, a coffee shop, anywhere. Man. Just hit up a spot like, man, what's the slowest day of the week at your spot? Let me is it possible a few of our folks to gather up and do like, play some beats or something and start from there, man. Yeah. And then it's like they either gonna say no or they gonna be with it. And most producers, they buy records, so
facts.
You're gonna be inviting producers that's buying records, and once they see that, they're gonna be open to whatever you want to do. If you want to do beat battles, or if you want to invite some MCs through to rhyme, you can do that too.
Right.
But you just got to be open to doing that. But you don't have to move to LA or think you have to.
Facts.
Or any of these big cities.
Yeah.
Like you. So yeah, man, that's advice I would give to cats.
Man, yeah, it's solid advice, man. And like I said, we're honored and we appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, there are multiple links down there below to not only support the music from DiBiase, but to also experience DiBiase on Twitch. I have the Instagram link in there as well. So that's the stuff that I was able to pull from. Is there anything that you have worked on or that you're working on that you would want folks to kind of like you want to move that traffic in that direction? What would you say? Is there anything else?
There's an Instagram page, Sample Mode, which is like I'm helping with that, and Flip a Beat Club. Mm-hmm. Follow that as well. That's not listed, but Sample Mode is pretty much just like the class I'm helping Nas with. But we're gonna start doing events with the Sample Mode. It's like pretty much like a spin-off of Supercard, but it's more educational. And but we'll be doing like beat showcases starting in the Bay, in Berkeley. But we'll pull up to different cities, man. But yeah, I would just look out for that, man. And it's open to. We want to get it to the point where we can get to different universities, and it's like it's open to the community too. That's the dope thing about this class. You don't even have to attend UC Berkeley.
Bro, y'all got it so lucky. I'm finna be a bitter boomer in a second, bro. Like y'all finna really get that energy from me. Do you know how lucky of a time? Like what a time to be alive. That's even a thing that you can sit here and say, Man, maybe I'll pull up. Maybe if I can. There is a generation of us that obviously with of course obvious constraints because of the internet and whatnot. Y'all are living in a different time, and so when I see these signs where they going crazy at you, I'm like, y'all don't understand how lucky you really don't understand how lucky you are and how much of a blessing it is to be living where you're living, how you're doing it right now. But nonetheless, man, you continue to push on. Did you want to add something to that?
Oh man, I'm grateful. We got to get to do this, man. It's always good times. I get a good laugh when I chop it up with you, man.
Absolutely.
And it's always good seeing you. And yeah, man, I'm proud of all the progress you've been doing.
Thank you, bro.
Day one, man. I've seen like all the progressions throughout the years, and yeah, man, it's like I know that dude, man, from doing the book, from the Arthur.
Yeah,
he's the Arthur, and other than being a Laker fan.
Come on now, see, I felt the setup. There was a part of
I'm joking.
Nah, there was a part of me that was like, what? I knew that was coming. See, that's the thing about you Bulls fans. You know what I mean? Y'all run one error, and then all of a sudden, y'all just disrespectful, man.
The crazy thing, I was born across the street from the farm.
It be your own people. It be your own folks, bro. It be your own folks. You was right there by the farm. See, at least you're not a Clipper fan. I'll take Bulls fan, but if you a Clipper fan, that's just like, I don't know which is more disrespectful. At least they got a championship history. You know what I mean?
When Baron Davis was with the Clippers, I kind of,
That was different though. That was different because they like Baron Davis turned the city up for sure.
Baron, my favorite. That's an LA South Central native.
You know what's so crazy about, I'm gonna leave this here. I'm gonna leave this thought here, okay? And I'm glad you on here showing off your Charlotte Hornets jersey. I think that's crazy. That's dope. Anybody see the thumbnail of this video? Oh, you might have noticed he was in a Tracy McGrady Toronto Raptors jersey. I don't know, man. It seemed like you I don't know, man. I don't never see no Jordan jersey. What's that about, man? No Rodman jersey? What's up, man? What's going on?
I got Pippen jerseys, man.
Oh, you got Pippen? Okay.
I got rare. Pippen was my favorite. I got a Pippen Blazer jersey.
I usually never wear those because you got it in a glass case.
Oh no, I wear that. I don't. My Pippen Bulls jersey, that's kind of old. I need to get a new one. That one's from high school.
Yeah, or you can get a Pippen Jr. jersey. He's with the Lakers.
It's kind of young and shit. That Bulls jersey.
Nah, say less. I'm gonna get you this Pippen Jr. jersey from the Lakers, the South Bay Lakers. I got you. You know how many.
I got an Eddie Jones Laker jersey.
That don't count. That's 1996. That don't count because that right there.
I like Eddie Jones though.
Eddie Jones was cold. Eddie Jones was the first person I ever seen do a layup from the 3-point line.
Oh yeah, that was wild.
I'm like, what makes you think to do that? He jumped almost one step from the 3-point line and just had a glide and layup, man. Bro, I could talk sports with you. I could talk music with you all day long,
That's a
bro.
Podcast, dog.
It is, man. I love the fact that we're able to do this, man. It can only be something that happens in 2023. But, bro, I think the real purpose of bringing you on here is to make sure that those who don't know or don't understand, you see us in this place give you your roses, because if there's anything that you respect about this layout, you respect about my character, understand that I am standing on the shoulder of giants, and I've been able to meet a lot of folks that won't allow me. Like, you've never checked me for anything, but you being as Thanos as you are, but having a heart that's like, not only am I gonna look out for you, but I'm gonna give you advice, and I'm gonna set a great example. Like, I have no excuse. I have way too many folks like you. Like, shout out to Murs. Way too many folks that have every reason to be arrogant as hell. And I've never got that energy. It's always been like, bro, I got you. And so I appreciate you for setting that example, because that's a huge reason why we're able to lead in this next stage of things. And we're grateful for you, bro.
Oh, man. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Of course, man. Likewise. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, please give it up for my guy, my brother DIBIA E. Y'all got the information down below there in the description. We appreciate your time and for joining us. Super, super dope. For those of you that are going to be here streaming for tomorrow, we're going to go live tomorrow. I'm making a song and a beat in 3 hours in FL Studio. You be there. This is DIY week, and we're talking to one of the original DIY legends who is explained to us what it looks like. So DiBiase, bro, you know, on behalf of us, I can't say behalf of Laker Nation, we salute you. We thank you. We love you. And
you have to throw that in.
You know, it's the last. You know, it's the last little part. But man, thank you so much, bro.
Your 91 Lakers appreciate it though. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had to throw that little jab in before.
You got the last word.
Off.
You got the last. You know what? That's fine.
Sorry.
That's fine.
I'm sorry.
That's fine.
But y'all, you know, your boy Bron broke the record.
And then y'all went and took Alex Caruso. Just petty.
And Lonzo.
Y'all can keep Lonzo. That's fine with me.
Man. When he's on the court, though,
y'all getting our damaged goods, man. You know what I'm saying? Well, you can take. You want? You gonna better get Westbrook too. Y'all good. Y'all have a